Good Ohio, everybody. Welcome back to Shumimasen, the podcast of the people. I'm your host, Gaius, and with me today are the usual suspects, Raymond and Thillak. Hello, lads.
Hello, my boys. Good to see you again.
Morning.
So, this week, or actually, about 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago now, NZ entered level 4 lockdown again. So everyone's stuck at home. No one can go outside. Everything is shut. There's no food. There's nothing. Nothing's open. Right? What that means is that everyone's stuck at home. Everyone is working from home. And you know what? It doesn't affect me because I never go outside anyway. What is grass? What are trees? What is color? All I know is my 2K screen and the world of whatever game I'm playing at that time. So pretty extreme example. Pretty extreme. But I feel like so many games have tried to kind of like emulate real life. There's so many games where there's almost that like Second Life feel to it. Literally a game called Second Life as well. But while we were talking about that, Ray and Thillak and I were talking about that, we decided, we're going to make this a gaming special. So we've all prepared 3x3s, and literally this whole episode is just us talking about our 3x3s. If you don't know what a 3x3 is, that's basically our top 9 kind of games of all times, or, maybe a specific period. Like for Thillak, it might be when he first had his sex change, and what really impacted him. And yeah, so we'll get into it. I think maybe I will start us off, boys. What do you think?
We can do a random.
Yeah, sounds good.
You want to do a random generator?
Yeah, I can do it. I got a random generator right here. We can do 1 to 999.
Okay. First row me, then Raymond, and then Thillak. Whichever has the highest number goes.
Okay, cool. So you know how to bring up a random generator? 1 to 999.
Yeah. Your boys ready? Let's do this.
I can generate for you, T, if you need to.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is Gaius, right? Have you rolled?
No, I haven't rolled. Just roll for me.
Okay.
Right, it's easier.
Gaius is 844.
Okay.
I have 975 and
Ray
T705.
Okay,
So,
Ray, me, Thillak. All right, let's go. Show us your 3x3s, Raymond. I'm very excited because
That was the most confusing allocation of who goes first. I was
What
like,
do you
why
mean?
is
What does
this
it
a-
mean?
Have you never used a random number generator?
Of course I have, but like, what was the fucking clarification? Was it the highest number wins, lowest number wins? Bro, I think I'm
far
the
gone
winner.
from like the fucking gaming world. He's like, oh my god, here we go.
All right.
Oh,
I am
shit,
surprised. Holy
classics.
shit, Raymond, I'm
So
very
this,
surprised about half of these.
These are mine. There's a few that I will expand on because there's not enough space on the
Yeah.
picture.
Nice.
But yeah, let me bring up my little notes on these as well because I do have some
Thillak,
notes.
are you
to
surprised on
remind
any
me.
of these?
I'm fair few actually.
Yeah,
The middle one for sure. I can't wait. Ray's gonna talk through
Right?
it. Oh, sorry,
I-
you're gonna explain each picture, right?
Yeah.
We'll go
Picture.
through them, but I am very surprised about like
Fucking let's get it. What a start.
4 or 5 of them. Oh, this man just changed the world. This
I
opened
think
my eyes. Like,
I think I guess maybe 2 out of all of that, to be fair.
I would say, I guess, like, well, I knew 2 of them were on there, because we were talking about it, and I guess another one of them, but I could not have guessed. Oh, another 2 of them, but I could not have guessed the rest. Like, there's no way that middle
Holy
one.
shit.
Oh my god, what a game!
Yeah, I know, what?
All right. Because
we'll
the
go-
podcast, obviously, no one can see this, so we should probably run through it. Raymond, want to run through your
Okay,
list real quick?
so what I have is I have this original Super Mario Land on Game Boy. Then we have the Warcraft 3 custom maps Frozen Throne. And this obviously leads to like a lot of things like the Dota or the Warlock custom maps. Got Counter-Strike Global Offensive over here. That's been a big part of what we grew up with. So obviously can't leave that out.
Absolutely.
We got Final Fantasy 14. We got the Endwalker one here. Dex, obviously you to know I play this game. Big part as well. Middle one, Battlefield 3. That also
Jesus.
includes like obviously Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Halo. That sort of genre of shooters.
Right.
Yeah, I've had a big stint in that as well. Next one here's the Pokemon series, in particular the Crystal, because this was my first big Pokemon that I really got into.
Yeah.
And then we
Big
got
shout out.
Katawa Sojo here, which is like a left field kind of game.
Oh man, we're gonna get
It's
into
what-
that. We're gonna get
It's
into
what I
that.
expected your entire 3x3 to be.
Yes, I thought the whole 3x3 when Ray opened it was just gonna be anime, like fucking
Yeah.
Can't Go 1, Can't Go 2, Can't Go 3,
Nickel
DJ
Power
and
7.
DJ. Sorry, continue, please.
We got Maple Story here.
Of
That's
course.
big.
Classic.
And then to represent the indie stuff, we got the Bastion over here.
How
Nice.
good was Bastion, man? Bastion
So
was
fucking dope.
when it came out, it just destroyed indie games.
Bro,
Like the
people-
whole concept of what indie games were, it like just raised the bar, you know?
Just didn't expect it, especially with
Oh,
like
absolutely.
the voiceover and everything. That's
You know,
crazy.
you know what's crazy? I've always said this: the Pokemon Crystal, or the like, your Emerald. That's the Emerald, Ruby, and Sapphire ones, right?
Crystal is gold and silver.
It's gold and silver.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm completely wrong then, because
That's
I've
crazy.
always said that the three like gem ones, whatever you want to call it, like the Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Bro, they're by far one of my favorite Pokemon, and they're by far the most fun ones. I don't know, something about the whole way they changed Pokemon from. I mean, like, the classic red, green, blue, whatever, right, and yellow, and then you have your gold,
Is it
silver.
gold, silver.
I'm pretty sure it's not, bro. I mean, it's crystal, right? So I would assume it's the same as like the gems. Anyway, they were so similar. They just like, and then you came out with crystal, and like suddenly, I don't know, everything was different. It was just better. So yeah, I've always loved the Pokemon kind of Emerald series, and so the remakes of that. Oh my god, so banging. But
I never.
yeah, sorry, you go. Yeah,
I never played the classic colors. Like the first game I ever got on my Game Boy was Sapphire, and Chi Mama, like that was back in the day where you couldn't even fucking Google what to do, so you had to like literally just fucking.
Yes.
I literally used to run around for hours not fucking knowing what to do, man. It was so infuriating, but it was so rewarding when you find out what to do.
Did you ever find those little books at like the supermarkets with the guides on what to do, or like at EV Games or something?
Oh my god, yes, those
You
guide
look at
books. They were so expensive as well.
There's like
Oh, yeah.
there's like actual physical copies that's like meant to be like a walkthrough from like Pokemon games.
Yeah, I remember that.
That you
Did you
have
not
to
see
find.
them, T?
No,
They're
I
like-
think I read one and I was like, "What is this shit?"
They're like a literal like walkthrough for the whole game, and like every page is like, okay, in like Pallet Town you can do this before you
shit.
leave, and then you talk to this person for this thing, blah blah blah, and all that. I mean,
Casual
obviously now
gamer.
that's just like Reddit or whatever. But yeah, back then, I mean, they used to. That was the merch, on the side. They would make money from that because people buy the game and they buy the guidebook, and the guidebooks were expensive, bro. They're like 30,
They were
40
like
bucks. I'm
50,
pretty
60 bucks, yeah.
Oh,
Even
50, 60,
that.
yeah, it was
Me.
insane.
Yeah,
It
because
was
it's like in
insane,
full
yeah.
color and fully printed and everything, right?
100%
That's
guarantee you
like
though. If you had like
It's
one of
the
the
expansion.
yeah, if you had one of like the first editions, I bet you is worth a shit ton right now.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
No one prints them
Absolutely.
anymore, bro. No one makes them anymore. T, you are really surprised about the middle one, the whole like Battlefield
Bro.
3 COD and stuff.
Don't get me. When I saw this on Ray's thing, I was like, "Bro, did Ray just Google cool guy walking next to tank?" Like,
Like, does Ray even know what that poster is for?
Bro,
no, but Ray,
yeah.
yeah, talk us through. Like, obviously, we know Warcraft. I think everyone's like Frozen Throne, Dota. Everyone knows that vibe.
Yeah.
Counter Strike, Super Mario. I actually want you to touch on Bond, but
Okay.
first, go through Battlefront, my dude.
Okay, so Battlefield was like well, I had a little stint back in high school where I got really into like the Battlefield Call of Duty. Obviously, it was popping off in high school and stuff, right? So everyone was playing it, so kind of joined in on that sort of stuff. This is the time where you actually go to like LAN cafes, internet cafes.
Yeah.
And then you actually like go up there. You don't have to sign in. You go into a lobby with all your friends, and you go 360 intervention, no scoping competitions and trick shot competitions, and try to like shoot people through walls. Yeah, that was then. So the time when Damien was like, we were into Modern Warfare. On the Xbox as well, with Xbox, PlayStation 1 or the 2. But I never really understood how he enjoyed controllers so much. But that's him.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Battlefield, that was with like another friend, Dylan, and we used to like rock the attack heli. I don't know if you guys played, but you know the 2-man attack heli.
Yeah.
And you just fly around and you just like rack up like 100 to 7 to like 0 KDs, that sort of shit. You just like work well as a team. I really enjoyed the vehicle and then the base combat.
Yeah.
I think. Are you excited about 2042 then?
This is the newest one that's coming out, right?
Yeah, there's a new one that they released like this trailer,
Yeah.
and apparently it's like just got a lot of old fans back
Yeah.
into it again.
Yeah. I saw the trailer. That's the trailer as well that they did the little clip where the guy jumps out of a jet and shoots a
Correct,
rocket
yeah,
launcher.
Little
that
homage
was
to one of their
But I'm not gonna
players.
lie,
It's
man.
fucking
Like,
sick.
It's highlight clips that make people play games. Like it's
Yeah,
highlight
yeah.
clips. It's,
Oh,
it's
for
not the
sure.
gameplay. No one gives a shit about the game. Oh, sorry. No one cares about like the official trailers and stuff, right? Yeah, they build hype, but the true hype is seeing fucking like our boy Shroud jump out of like a helicopter and like 360 no scope a guy. You're like, what the fuck just happened, you know? And it's like the highlight clips great. Were you ever a fan of Battlefield T?
I think I played it on and off. I think my brother played it mostly, and I think I did get into it initially, but then I realized I was like, "Fuck me, this is like 100v100, like a huge map."
Yeah.
And
It
I
gets
think
pretty
that's
crazy.
yeah. I think I played maybe 20 hours or 30 hours, so not too much,
Alright.
but still enough where I'm like always like, I want to get better before I quit. But I think I played it and I just lost interest. I think because none of my friends at the time were playing. So classic. Like, when you're playing an online game,
Yeah,
when you
it's
have no friends playing, you don't.
You just gotta leave it, yeah.
Yeah, literally.
think-
And then I got into a plane once, and I was like, I cannot fly this shit. I just crashed into a building, and I raged quit. I was like, fuck this.
That's pretty much it. I think it's one of the games where like it's got a gunplay of like a arena or like a deathmatch shooter, right? But it's got the
Yeah.
whole like like the big ass maps with like
It's like an open world FPS.
Because like it's like one of the games
literally.
where you're like if you're running around and you run around a corner, you see a guy in the tank, like there's not much you can do by yourself.
You shit
right?
your
You have
pants
to,
and die.
yeah. You get run over, you get shot. You
But
kind of
genuinely, like
yeah.
with this kind of game, especially with like the new one coming out, it actually feels like a fucking changing. Like the world changes as you play the game. There's a fucking tornado and like buildings collapse, and if the buildings collapse, like you change stages. Like it's actually like just an evolving map each time you play, which actually is a sick fucking change.
Well, I remember when sorry, but like I remember when I can't remember which Battlefield it was. There was one of the Battlefields which introduced destructible environments, and it was insane. Like when it came out, it like blew people's minds. They're like, "Oh my god, you can like destroy buildings and shit!" Like it changes the gameplay because you're like raiding in a building and they just nuke you,
run over the building. Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like, oh my god, it like changes everything. And,
it's really interesting because like I remember. Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, it's all good.
But like the big things, like you know, a guy is behind a wall, like you can't shoot through the wall, and then you walk around, he's camping in a corner, you're just gonna get shot as you're inside the corner. What you do, you fucking put a C4 on the other side of the wall and blow him up.
Exactly, like you know that's, and I feel like it's literally there. You know, this kind of innovations in FPSs, right, to make things interesting, which is why I don't want to say it because I love it, but I feel like that's the reason why CS kind of died off slowly. On one hand, it was so good because, in my opinion, it was one of the most perfect 5v5 shooters out there. Like the skill level was good enough that you could enjoy it at beginner to all the way to a pro level, right? Like, and it wasn't hard to the point where you couldn't beat the pros. Like teamwork could still mess up a 5. A 5 individually strong player team who had no teamwork. You know, you hold the right angles, you hold the right crossfire, you know the right smokes, even or whatever. You can tactically and technically beat someone, even if they were aim gods. Obviously, the aim gods, no matter what in CS, aim gods going to destroy you, right? In a 1v1, like if you both pick as advantage each other, GG, you wreck. 100% they're going to flick on you, you die. But I feel like CS was so tactically great. The problem was, on the other hand of the same coin of it not being changing because it was so perfect, was that it didn't evolve with the other games.
Exactly.
And then all the hackers came in and all that shit. So it never kind of got there. How do I say?
Stale.
Exactly, it got stale. It was so strong. The tournaments, I mean, the tournaments were hype, right? And they were so good. But after a while, you're like, I mean, how many times do you want to see Simple flick headshot a guy? Like, okay, cool, man. He's done it like a million times. Every tournament, that's what Simple going to do. Every tournament, you can expect Scream to like, you know, what do you call it? Recoil transform like 5 people at once and just wreck the whole team. Like it's just like, okay, that's just what Scream does. That's just what Energy does. That's what the MB does, kind of thing. And so like I feel like it got stale.
When you think about it though, like for a game that does 5v5 on like 6 different maps, it lasted way longer than anyone really expected,
it's so
right?
big.
Like
it's still going. It's still going.
Exactly. It's still, bro. I think it's just all the fucking updates they keep doing is just more cosmetic rather than gameplay.
Yeah. It is.
If I think a part of it is like, do you feel like that they have like so many layers of complexity in it that
Yeah.
kind of makes it interesting, but it also makes it so rigid because if you change something, then you can completely, like, even a small change to something, because the structure is so fragile that you can easily throw the balance off. Like, for example, the most recent kind of things that come to mind, I've stopped playing. I don't know if you guys are still playing, but when they changed the cost to like AUG and SG, like the two, and then no one used AKs anymore because it was just like because of the economy, because they had the whole economy game behind the game, right?
Yeah.
You had to manage your economy versus their economy, and who's to save, who to buy, what's the save round, how do you throw it around. There's like that whole intricate thing behind it. Like if they throw it away.
Sorry, that was so did they purely change the cost? They never changed recall or anything? Because I remember go.
I think they changed. I think they increased the rate of fire, or maybe time to kill, or the damage behind it. But I think the big thing was behind the cost as well, because I remember when I was playing it, the whole point that you're not buying those guns is because your info is so much cheaper, right? And then it does like relatively the same thing.
Yeah.
And
I think even then I remember like I tuned in like after I left New Zealand, obviously, and I tuned in. And I was just watching like a random tournament, and I was like, why the fuck is everyone got an AUG and like a Craig and stuff? And I was like, what the fuck? Like people using the scope and shit like fucking nerds. Like it definitely changes the game, you're right.
Oh, it's crazy because like the meta of Counter-Strike doesn't change much, let's be honest. In I would say I don't know, 5 years, 10 years or whatever, right, of the game coming out. It's the same thing, the same meta. You save. I mean, you pissed around. If you don't win, you save. Basically, easy call, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have enough money to go armor and AK, M4, whatever, you save, right? Or you go, let's say, glass cannon or whatever. It's pretty similar strats. You can expect that. The ones where I remember that game T where we literally were like all saving. I had enough for one AK and we went glass AK and we just like traded them and we destroyed the team, because that's like completely contrary to what people would think, right? They were rushing because they're all pistol, they're saving. And that's the thing. The meta doesn't change much though, apart from 1-2 plays here and there. The minute they introduced, I don't know if you guys remember this, when they introduced the FAMAS, whatever you want to call it, that changed a bit. It changed a bit. And now they do that to the AUG SSR or whatever it's called. It changes everything, because like the economy was half the game. The minute you change the thing, you change the meta. And unfortunately, like the AUG is, come on, man, who ADS is in Counter-Strike? That's like, bro, it's literally what we used to give people shit for. Like people can't aim, have to use like the fucking like.
I remember Ray used to fucking buy the AUG, and I was like, Ray, why are you fucking like?
No,
this,
it wasn't
like,
Ray. It wasn't Ray. Ray used to buy the P90. It was Elvis. Remember? He would always buy the thing because he didn't understand like recoil control and shit. So he would just like, and we're like, bro, it's so expensive. It's the shittiest guy.
We'd all be dead, man. It would all be dead. It'd be 1v5, and we'd literally watch this one person with an AUG, and I'd be
him does like walking around with like a whole
like slowly crouching around corners and stuff. It's like, wow, what a peek, bro, what a peek. It's like, you know how there's like shoulder pick? That's just a straight up head pick, bro. Like shoot me.
Full body peek.
Like full body wide angle pick every time, because they don't understand that like when you AD heads, you move completely different and shit. Nah, it's insane, because CS is, I don't know, man. I feel like it's
gone through so many phases though.
Yeah, it's lost a lot, or not just player base, of its kind of like initial charm, and no one really wants to play 1.5 hours games to get like 14.
That's exactly it.
It's lost that as well. So
I think it lost its fire with Fortnite and Apex and all that shit at the same time, didn't it?
Battle Royale is definitely,
Valorant.
I think Valorant for sure, definitely. I think before there was not as many that tactical competitive shooter in the same field. Or what was it when it was really blowing up back then? What was it? Battlefield.
Battlefield.
You can't get the same experience.
No, that's true.
As from the other two, but now I suppose there is still not as much, but a little bit more I mean, you got your Valorant as your big competitor, your Riot Games dipping their toes in everything, right now.
Classic.
Yeah.
But Valorant
But, I
is
mean,
just like a copy paste with more abilities and shit, which is
Yeah.
basically what you need to spice up a genre like this. Because like,
Yeah, you
if
do.
it's just Counter-Strike, how else are you gonna evolve it? You know?
Yeah. Then you have like things that like sudden attack and that sort of shit, which is just like copy and paste clones from like
Sudden
another
Attack.
company.
Oh my god, what a
Yeah.
throwback of the name.
Yeah.
Shit. I come. Oh wow, I haven't heard that in ages.
Have you played
Um,
Sudden Attack T? It's literally just Counter-Strike if you don't have the money to buy
It's
Counter-Strike.
Korean Counter-Strike, basically. It's
Stop
like what
it.
the old gem over in like Asia and shit.
Yeah.
It's massive there, actually. It was rather. It was
Okay.
massive. I want to talk about Super Mario Land.
Okay, Super
That
Mario
was, I
Land.
literally wanted to say that as well, you fucker.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Super Mario Land. Honestly, one of my most OGs. So back in the days before computer games, before anything, my dad had a Game Boy, like the classic Game Boy.
Oh my
Like not even
Ooh, I
Game
know
Boy Color,
exactly.
no Game
Yep,
Boy
yep, yep.
Advance.
The,
That
like
big
big
ass
grey
block.
ones, right? The
bastard.
block
Yeah,
ones.
the big chunky
Yes,
ones,
boy.
no backlight.
I still have it.
Fucking yeah, and that was this was like it had like a few games in it. It was like fucking Tetris. It had like the classic, but I mean Super Mario Land was one of the options that I could play on it. And back when you're a kid, this is like my introductory to like gaming.
Right.
I would like hold on to it, play it, and I remember all like the water levels and everything that was fucking difficult and annoying when you're like, in a little submarine and shit. I mean, like, Mario is like one of the classic games that you kind of grow up with. I mean, it's like even as a kid, you understand go right, go to the flag, right? I don't even know it was save the princess. I don't really care. Skip the cutscene, you know. I just remember go to the right and just jump up as tall as you can on the flag. I
don't know. I think let me see. I the thing is though, I'm quite gutted because I never really delved or like dipped my toes into like the Nintendo world.
Yeah.
really? Yeah.
I genuinely I think the only time, I think recently I've gotten into like Smash Bros, Mario Kart, but never like the
Really?
classic like
You a
64
Nintendo
stuff.
gamer?
Yeah.
Nintendo.
No,
Nintendo
fuck you,
Thillak?
man. That's
What?
what we did. Yeah, that's what we
It's
did.
so
fucking during
casual for you,
lockdown.
though. Like, I don't know. I'm gonna offend so many people saying this, but I feel like Nintendo has always been to me a very casual. I mean, Smash Bros. Yes, I know it's a massive player base, blah blah whatever. Right?
Yeah.
All I'm trying to say, like Nintendo in kind of like general, to me is very casual. It's like because it's handheld, you play it on the train, you play it on the bus, you play it, like when you have time. I've never met a Nintendo. I mean, I don't know, but there probably is. Is there like competitive Super Mario runs with like world tournaments and shit? Probably. Would I watch it? Fuck no.
Speed runs and stuff.
I mean,
There's
speed runs and shit. But speed runs
yeah.
are different, right? Speed runs are like community things. I'm talking about like legit, full on 5v5 Super Mario Land shit. You won't see that, right? Because
probably not. Yeah.
You don't have tournaments for things which don't have how do I say this? Which don't build hype. PvP always builds hype. Competitive gaming always builds hype, right? You want to see your favorite team smash it out. Your favorite teams rather smash it out, and you want to see like that skill level. Like this guy is really good at this. Is he going to be able to beat this guy who's really good at this? Like an AWP versus an AK. Who has biggest advantage, for example, right? Or Apex, who moves better, blah, 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 all that thing. And so, like, for me, Nintendo gaming, and it's super elitist of me to say this, if it's not competitive gaming, to me, it's, like, pretty casual. Because why would you bring up your skill level in a game that is like, well, I play it on the train or I play it on the bus? I've never heard of someone be like, man, I just came off, like, a 52-hour, like, Super Mario run, bro. Like, I never heard that. No one marathon Super Mario.
But to be fair, isn't that why Super Mario and shit, they branched out? They've got like a fucking Mario Kart, they've got Smash Bros. They're literally like they're like doing what Riot Games did back in the day, where they release games of its own genre essentially, and they've got like a little bit for everyone. I know Smash Bros. Fucking goes off, man.
Smash Bros. Pops.
The animations, everything. Yeah, it's just like when you do something fucking hype, it's hype. Like everyone blows up for that shit. But you're right, the OG ones, I guess back then, esports wasn't a big thing, so I guess no one really gave a shit about that, right?
I think there's something great about it, though. I'm not saying that, I hate on Nintendo. I don't think I have any Nintendo in mind, but Nintendo is great. They created a whole kind of genre of games that you could play on the go, which you don't require, you just sit down for like 5 hours at a time kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I am surprised that Well, actually, no, I'm not surprised Raymond has it on Nintendo. I am surprised that you are gutted about it because I don't think that you would enjoy it. Till like you're of all people who's very like competitive gaming. I couldn't see you sitting down playing Super Mario for like 5 hours, like literally.
Wait, but I kind of disagree with that. I mean, like, if you're a competitive, you kind of want perfectionist, right? I don't know about you, Tay,
Right,
but I'm
yeah.
sure you kind of want the perfectionist and everything. You want to get everything the most,
Absolutely.
like the most best way you could do it, the fastest way you can do it, the least amount of trouble.
Yeah,
And
fair
then where you have like games where like your Super Mario Land platformers, obviously you can play it very casually, but then you can also get it to the point where you're trying to land all these like
Speed
pixel
run and shit,
perfect
yeah,
jumps and that sort of stuff. Like you could enjoy that part of it. Like
Well played, Ray. Yeah, well fucking said.
No,
That's
I
a
mean,
good win.
I actually didn't think about it like that. I guess that's like you said, right? The whole speed run kind of side of things, where it's more about not about like 1v1 competitions, but more about like completionist competitions. You know, like oh, can I 100% like speed run any level kind of
record.
thing,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
any
yeah.
percent kind of thing. That's fair enough.
like
Fair enough.
getting like a level done as like best as you can, and you can just like there's a kind of drive and like a push towards that. And I think that's like part of like competitive spirit.
I want to see the next one. So, Ray, I've got 2 questions for this choice. So, you've obviously, as classic as always, you've got Maple Story. Now,
Yeah.
how old were you when you started, and did you ever put money into Maple Story?
Oh, come on.
Maple Story, it's hard to say when I started, like maybe 12, 13, I think pretty early. Very early enough that picture that we have there is the login screen. I'm pretty sure it's changed now.
Oh yes, boy.
And
I can literally hear the music. I can
Before
hear
they asked
the
for a pin
music.
code.
May put a story.
Fucking pin codes and stuff. Yeah. So
oh my god! Back before they asked for pin codes, you're absolutely right, T.
we
This
got
is like when
straight
it was
in.
just yeah. Oh my god.
And then you have like only 4 choices on your hair and stuff, and there was only like adventure classes, so you don't have like the really crazy like pirates and shit.
All classes, holy crap! What a throw! That was OG, man. That was OG like gaming.
So that was back
when it
then.
used to take when it used to take 10 years to actually get to level 10 to decide which fucker you want to become. And there's no like fast traveling and all this shit. Oh man.
Did you buy much NX, Ray?
So the NX story is pretty funny. I think the first taste of NX was my parents decided to get me, I think it was my birthday, and then they decided to get me one of those pets, because obviously Maple Story is the game where it's like kind of a little bit pay to win, right? You can kind of say pay to win. You get your pets and then they conveniently loot up everything on the ground for you. That's a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they also set like 30-day timers on them, so they like expire after 30
It's like
days.
a subscription for a fucking pet. Oh fucking beauty. Guys, did you fucking get any NX? What a question.
Well, the thing is, I think we were talking about this. I don't think it was on the podcast. We were talking about this Ray and I, about Maple Story and how like back then there were the whales, right? They were like the ones with daddy's credit card, and that's like, yeah, go for it, buy fucking 50 different hairstyles and shit. I never could because we live in NZ where there's no Target, so there wasn't those what do you call them, like the prepaid cards. There wasn't those that you could upload the next on NX cash cards, and so we need a credit card. And back then there wasn't debit cards, right? They didn't exist. There was only one way to buy NX, and it's credit card.
And that's
I started Maple Story in like when I was like 8 or 9 maybe when it first came out. I remember playing the beta basically. Anyway,
oh shit,
yeah. So for the longest time I wanted NX and stuff, and I couldn't, right? And the only kind of cash things you could get was the free ones, right? In the game, you know how to give you like free hair that's like random and then free like. And so I remember like being like, shit, man, I have a level whatever character. I don't really want to create another meal for this. Like, if I don't get the cool hair on this, I'm gonna have to live with it. And so I rolled the randomizer and got like I still remember the name. It was the Tobin, I'm pretty sure, which is like the Hitler hair, like the center parting, really short on the side. So it was like shit. And I was like, oh man, I just ruined my character because I can't buy NX.
Oh my god.
And so no, I never managed. I mean, even when the only time I could start to buy NX was obviously when I was like older, and by then I moved on from Maple Story. I never ever got NX. My parents were never into like, let's fund my kids' professional Maple Story career, which jokes on them. I could have been a pro. I'll be making millions right now playing Maple Story tournaments. But yeah, so no, never. But I did play way too much. I played way more than I should have in a game.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, shit, man. When I think back, I'm like, I wasted, in a way, I like, quote unquote, wasted so much time playing games that literally had no like future in gaming. Like, imagine if I just spent all the time on Maple Story on CS 1.6. I would be a god in CSGO. Probably go pro. Probably get signed by NRG right now. You know, don't have to talk to you guys for this.
You invested in the wrong. You invested in the wrong. Game.
Exactly. I invested my time in the wrong game.
Poor management.
So for our listeners out there who are still young, who have time, who have reaction speed on their side, aren't old like us and crusty and just shit at gaming nowadays, start in a proper game, man. Look at the future
like
game.
Maple Story.
Go with the correct games. All right, don't start on Maple Story. Okay?
Start on Maple Story. It'll bring you up to be the best kid in school.
So T, assuming because you asked those questions, you spent a lot of money on Maple Story?
The actual opposite. So I started, similar to guys, I started when I was 8 because my brother was playing and I used to spend hours just watching him.
Yeah.
I, to this day, I think I've played Maple Story as much as like League of Legends, which is fucking a lot, right? And it's really surprising because like I used to play literally solo. Like, I didn't have friends to play with because I'm a fucking loner. Yeah. So I used to play hours and hours and hours as a kid. And like Gaius, I didn't have like a card. And if I went to ask my mom, can I use a card? She would have fucking disowned me.
She'll be like, show me why you're buying it for. And then you show Maple Story. She's like, what the fuck is this?
Like a fucking pet. They're like, you're such an idiot. But like even to this day, like I know every couple of years, like Maple Story just comes out of nowhere and we play it again. Even when I played it like a few years ago. I still didn't buy any NX. It was like the game was still fucking crazy with how different it was, but I still didn't buy NX and still played fucking hours, which is unheard of.
Which is pretty cool for a game that is essentially not. I mean, it's not paid to win. It's paid to make life a lot easier, right? It's paid to change gameplay a little. But I think T, I'm with you. I don't think I've spent $1 on Maple Story.
Yeah,
I spent money on like the private servers and shit, which is technically illegal or whatever, right? But yeah, I spend money to like support all these like private servers to like fund their servers and stuff. Because private servers are fun. They're really fun. They're different kind of community and shit. It's a lot more. Not casual, but it's a lot more different because you can do rebirths and all that stuff. I'm not going to get into that. It's a massive 2 hour spill, but I did spend money on those. I never spent a cent on the actual NX cash. NX is expensive. If you think about it, it's really expensive.
The ratio is really bad. Yeah.
And 1,000 gets you like one of those invisible hats, basically, so that you don't, you can't hide that in game, right?
I think they put the stuff as like 1,300 or something, like $13 for a piece of clothing.
Yeah, it's insane. It's very pricey, T. It's very pricey. And Nexon hella knows how to make money, bro. Like they hella know how to make money. And people were stacked back then. I remember like kids who were like head to toe NX and shit, and they have like all the fancy chairs that were like when they sit down, there's all the animations, and they had clout as hell, bro. I remember how much clout.
That's exactly it. That fucking clout, man. But I remember like to sit in the NX shop and like go through the pages
and just wish you had money free. For it.
No. Not only that, but there'll usually be like free stuff that pops up, and I'll be like, "Yo, sick! That's 1 hour of my time just going through the NX shop. Finally got something free."
They give like the really random small stuff.
The stuff that no one wants to buy in like the last 10 years.
Bro, but isn't that why Claudia got a gaming PC to play Maple Story?
Oh man, let's not talk about that. It's so funny because on Discord, literally, you just see that like randomly pop up, like, Claudia's playing Maple Story. I'm like, oh yep.
Oh my.
Shout out to Claudia right now.
What is this? Bastion. When did you play Bastion, Ray? Did you ride the hype or were you one of the OGs?
I think I didn't like get introduced to it. I think I stumbled upon Bastion by such. I must be one of the articles where it was like praising it, so I must be around where it was hyped. But yeah, I remember getting it. I don't know if I can go on Steam or something, and then it was just a very different experience. It was something that I haven't really played before, or any genre that I haven't really played before. But then I remember it just drew me in. Especially, I think the most memorable stuff was the narrator.
Yes,
the narrator voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then he would go over what you were doing in game, and I thought that was like cool as heck, bro. Like if you like jump off the edge, there's just like, and the guy jumped off his head or the edge or something.
It's what the hell? It's just that like comical feel to it, but at the same time, it's so good. I think I started Bastion. I don't even think I was. I think Raymond might have introduced me to Bastion. I'm not sure who exactly was like. You really should play Bastion. And at that point, I'm not. I mean, I'm a real. When it comes to gaming, bro, like. If you're not in E3, I'm not even going to play you. No, I'm kidding. I never delved into like the whole indie side, right? I knew they existed, but anyone who knows me knows I'm a real aesthetics kind of whore, right? If it's not pretty, I can't play it. Like, and unfortunately, a lot of indies are.
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Oh, they're very thing, and nothing against indie games because obviously game dev takes a lot of money, and not everyone's going to make a AAA game. But when I played Bastion, it was so the artwork was so aesthetically pleasing, which blew me away for an indie game, right? But not just that, it was like maybe a 5-hour game, like a 2-hour game. I mean, you could probably speed run it in like 5 minutes, maybe. I don't know. It's a short game, right? Compared to at that time, the AAAs were even back then were maybe 40 hours, 50 hours. And when Bastion came out, I was like, when I downloaded it, I was like, what the hell? It's like 100 megs or whatever. Right? It's a tiny game. I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. Played it, and I was like, man, like 4 or 5 hours to tell that narrative, to tell that story, to make you actually emotionally, I guess, connect with the guy. I can't remember if he had a name. I think it's the boy, right? To connect and like actually care. It was so impressive. And the voice acting, the narrative is so good, man. The narrator just did such a great job. The whole gameplay of it was so smooth, so fluid, so good that like I literally could not believe it wasn't just like a AAA maker, like just making it on the side for the shits and giggles. It was an indie company. They churned it out. And the thing is, Supergiant Games from then has moved like point to point to point to point, like it's been so good in terms of what they do. And I actually wanted to, I don't know if I did, I wanted to include one of the Supergiant games in my thing. Everyone knows which one because I love it. But I was like, one of us is 100% going to put a Supergiant game in there. And we're going to talk about it already, so I'm not going to, right? Because Supergiant is, as an indie gamer, company, indie developer, they are probably one of the best, I would say, right now.
Yeah, one of the giants in there. Supergiant.
It's one of the recent releases as well, right? Hades or some shit?
So Hades, like, I literally wanted to put Hades in my, I don't think I did, but Hades is one of the best roguelite games I've ever played in my life. It's one of the best kind of like just indie games where you go in expecting nothing and you come out literally saying, it's better than some of the AAAs out there.
I mean,
that was the same with Bastion.
I've heard nothing but praise for Hades. Like, I haven't really played it myself, but like everyone that's played it is just like, "What? This is so good!" Like people play it and then they go spend hours and hours and hours into it.
Absolutely. Have you played it, T?
I haven't, but I have friends who aren't even gamers who are fucking in love and like obsessed with it.
The beauty of Hades is obviously the roguelite thing. For people who are listening who don't know what a roguelite is. A roguelite is a game basically or a system where every time you die, you respawn back at the same place, but you get a bit of perks from it, right? So anyone who's played like Binding of Isaac, that's a roguelite kind of thing. You get perks in the sense of, let's say you've accomplished this in the previous game, you get a certain amount of materia to craft this, to do that, blah 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 blah. So you basically respawn stronger each time. And the whole point is that you're going to die. You're 100% going to die. How many times you're going to die to get to this, blah, 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 blah. And so it builds up from there, right? But it's because they incorporated Greek mythology, which everyone loves, let's be honest. Like, we're all suckers for Greek mythology. And just the gameplay for it is so fluid. It's an action top-down. I don't even know what the like genre is. It's an action game, basically.
Diablo style, right?
Yeah, Diablo style, exactly. But it's so fluid. It's so good. And it's just so easy to get into. Like, before you know it, you've already run like 5 times, 6 times, 7 times, 10 times, I don't know how many hours I spent on it, but it's a game literally that I can pick up at any time and just be like, oh shit, let's get back into it. It's one of the first games where I actually tried to not speed run it, where I actually tried to like, run through a run being like, oh, I want to break 10 minutes, I want to break 15 minutes, I want to break like 8 minutes or whatever. Because it's just that fun. It's like easy running, you just go through it. How fast can you get to the end boss and stuff? And I think my like record was like 9 minutes for a full run of Hades. And like it's not even hard. It's not even a good, I think people clear it in like literally like 8 minutes or something, right? And so it's not like a WoW standard thing. But for me, it was just like, I've never been one to chase after those kind of accomplishments. And for Hades to accomplish that, I'm like, this has to be one of the best games, in recent times.
Shit, that's a really good, huge praise,
bro. It's as an indie developer, in terms of like, it's really hard for me to say because like I keep saying, aesthetics are so important to me, right? So like, if you put Hades against something like Ghost of Tsushima, obviously Ghost of Tsushima looks better. Obviously, Ghost of Tsushima is going to be like high on the list. But the thing is, that's a AAA. You have an indie versus a AAA. And if I'm talking about in terms of what they did with the money that they had, bro, 100% Hades Game of the Year. Without a doubt. Like, without a doubt, they should have won it. Instead, fucking Last of Us 2 won it. And God, don't get me started on this franchise. I goddamn hate Last of Us. It is a terrible franchise. I know you love it, T, and I'm going to apologize, but God, I hate that fucking franchise.
Can't wait for you to see my fucking 3x3.
Oh, man, it's so bad.
I actually can't wait to fucking get to it. Okay, let's see.
Finish
Ray,
these
so
off. What's left here? Have you heard of the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy 14? It has a free trial. It includes the entirety of A Realm Reborn and award-winning expansion. Heaven's Sword up to level 60
that he's going
with
through
no
right
restriction in playtime.
where like, because the app plays literally all the time for any FF player, and they like know it off by heart now, right? So it's like an FF me. Anyone who plays FF literally knows that whole thing. We just say it. It's like how we say good morning to each other. It's like, have you heard about the award?
Critical acclaim. Yeah, it's just they had a string of like really weird kind of ads where they had like real people and they were like become the world. I think they had the Spider-Man guy. So they had an ad with Spider-Man in it. That was like training to be the warrior of darkness. Like,
oh no way!
Oh no, man! I'm done, man. I'm never playing this game.
So I mean, FF14, Ray. I play as well, but you're very. I'm like casual player. But you're very much more. You've played it for years and years.
I played it for longer. Yeah. I played it for
way longer. Like way longer, right? What is it that you, I guess, love about it so much?
I think it's the like moving on from MapleStory, where it was like a MMO. So we've jumped through a few MMOs like Flife and stuff, but I think it was always looking. Everyone's as the MMO players always looking for that community that keeps you in, right? Yes. So you're looking for a game that appeals to you, that you can play, like not get annoyed with or not too difficult, but you also want to get the community. And then I think with that, I think getting into Final Fantasy, when you join your guilds and your friends in the game and you go do your content stuff together and you kind of like help each other, watch each other grow, that sort of stuff, make friends. I think that's what just kind of kept me into this game. Sick. And then it's just like from friend group to friend group. I'm sure guys knows that.
Hey, let me just interrupt this. So what you're saying, Ray, is the end of the story. The true end game is the friends that you made along the way. Yeah. This is very anime-esque right now, bro. This is very shonen right now.
I think another thing that we especially with Final Fantasy is the story. I'm sure. I think you touched a little bit on it in the story, but I think the story in Final Fantasy 14 is as good as any other Final Fantasy game. You know all the other Final Fantasies, like you got your 7s, your 10s, you got historically the strongest part of the game is the story, right? And when you can bring that level of story into an MMO, is like something special, and you kind of get invested in your character and stuff.
Never.
Okay, so I play FF14 as well. I'm very much newer than Raymond in FF14. But for someone who's casual, right? Like FF14 has a huge kind of like, because it's what, three expansions right now. For me to get to kind of like the end game where it's fun, right, where you play with your mates, you do raids and stuff, it's such a big investment in time, and I think that's currently the biggest thing. Like we all know the first one, ARR, right, A Realm Reborn, it's trash. It's trash. It's straight up trash tier.
Definitely a weaker point.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. Let's be honest. So it's really hard for people to get into. And in terms of the story, I would agree that it's as strong as any FF out there. In fact, I would say it's stronger because it's ever evolving, right? And you can say it. I mean, bro, if you're comparing it to the most recent ones, you're talking about 13 and 15.
15,
story-wise, 14 shits on them, bro. Honestly, 14
really?
Oh, bro, 14 is not 100%. Okay, I'm saying this as someone who doesn't even like the story. Like, everyone's gonna hate on me as an FF14 player who hates the FF14 storyline, but it's definitely better than the most recent ones. Right? The only reason I don't like the FF14 storylines is because I don't think I'm the type who likes JRPGs anymore. I just can't stand 50-hour cutscenes anymore, right? And there's just so many of them. But I will say, in terms of pure story, like let's say I was like new to the game and I was like, catch me up, right? And someone gave me like the wiki page, right? And I read ARR, I read Heavensward, I read Stormblood, and then I read Shadowbringers. And as like a book or a novel or like a Wikipedia page. The story's hella good, man. The story is really, really good. It's really, really interesting.
Massive.
We don't talk about ARR. We don't talk about the first one. That's not a game. That's just Tutorial Island.
Tutorial
Island,
yeah.
right? That's not part of the game.
200-hour Tutorial Island.
Heavens Were Onwards is really, really good, T. And the story behind it is so strong and so like, because there's character development, there's like a world building, there's everything that anyone who likes RPGs and MMOs will love. And that's why I think currently I would say hands down is probably one of the best MMOs out. Or the best
Holy
MMO.
shit.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, bro. It's shitting all over WoW. How many WoW players have left WoW because Blizzard dropped the ball to come here and be like, oh my god, this is actually as good as people have said it is.
And then the development team really cares for the game as well.
Oh, absolutely.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah.
They take on board so much feedback, and they really care. There's so many of them. I mean, I'm very new to this, so Ray can probably talk about it better. But the amount of times they link me, let's say, a video of one of the developers or one of like the hit directors just talking about the game or like doing things to interact with the players of the game. So different, bro. So different from Blizzard. So Blizzard just wants money right now, right? So different from any AAA that I've ever met. And I think that's really, really cool of FF because it's like $1 billion franchise.
Yeah.
Right. To be fair, like the Final Fantasy world always had the most insane story out of like any game I've really played. Like it's so in depth, so intense. And so when I played F15, I was like, holy shit! Like it's such a like story I'm not even following previously. But it's still quite good. I think
the word you're looking for is shit, mate. I'm sorry. the gameplay FF15. Yes, sir. You go. Yeah.
Yes. Because I already told you, gameplay and graphics plays so much into my ratings, right?
Yes.
Not rarely, but the story is there. I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'll give the story a chance. But like, for someone who doesn't really follow Final Fantasy,
shooting people and like slashing, like if I can kill people, I don't care. I don't care about the fucking like story. I just want to kill people.
It just felt like Kingdom Hearts on crack. Like it was like,
I can see that.
But Ray,
it is.
Is there?
Sorry, you go.
No, you go.
I said 15 is 15 is very, very aesthetic in its own way, especially like you feel like you're like with the boys and stuff, right? The whole.
It was so weird that you were with the boys. That's my whole thing about it.
What do you mean? You don't want to be a boy band? Walk around fishing?
No, don't lads on tour.
Yeah, that's
literally lads on tour. It makes no sense. You're like the crown prince in a car that breaks down first. You're like, bro, who's like? Is there no mechanics in the whole palace? Like, you literally travel for like what 5 minutes and your car breaks down. It's like
you run out of fuel because you're
this
idiot.
is a shit regalia right there, man. That's first thing. Second thing, like. You are the crown prince in a world that's dying, and you're like, I said this in the previous podcast. You're like, oh, let's stop to chocobo race. Let's stop to like fish a grouper. What a giant like grouper, and then like me and my boys are gonna like hold it together and take pictures. What is that? What is that game, bro? It makes no sense.
It's the Japanese weeb aspect, man.
It's not the Japanese. The previous FFs have been so strong. You want to talk about like storyline from? Oh, I hate to mention this, but 7 onwards, right? Oh no, actually, any of them, right? 7. One of the classics, everyone loves it. I would argue against that, but whatever. 7's good, 8's good, 9's good. 10 story, one of the strongest as well. 10 is so good, right?
10 is so long, man.
It's long. It's
long.
really long, and that's the RPG. That's literally what I'm saying about JRPGs. They're way too long, which is why I can't deal with them anymore. But what I'm saying is, at that point in time, you were happy to spend whatever amount of time to play it. 11 is trash, or rather, we don't talk about 11. And then 12 is so good, bro. I love 12, right? And then
you like 12? 12 pirates? 12
is Sky Pirates. I loved it. I loved it. It was so because it was one of the most aesthetically pleasing games on PS2 at that time. It's literally Sky Pirates, right?
Aesthetically pleasing because of the VR or what? Is that
VR, come on. How do you not like the Mummy Vieras, man? Ray? Come on. Like
do you know what VR is?
The Rabbit Girls.
The Playboy bunnies.
The Playboy bunnies. No, but it's not that. It was for the PS2 at that time, right? To produce that kind of level of graphics, it was insane for me. It literally blew my mind the minute I loaded it up. It was as good, I would say, as some of the PS3 games out there in terms of graphics, which is insane, right? The difference between PS2 and PS3 graphics is insane. And for PS2 to churn out that graphics and Square to do that, it blew my mind. And so that's why I love 12 so much, right? 13 was hit or miss. You either love it or you don't, and so on and so on. And then 15 came out. 15 came out with so much hype, and it was just so bad. Like, I just hated it. I hated it. I played it, and I finished it, and I was like, I spent a lot of time in it doing, all the things just so I could be like, all right, I really didn't like it because you know me, I don't hate on a thing before
right.
trying it, right? So I finished it, I did it, and I was like, storyline is weak. Gameplay wise, yes, it's aesthetic, it's hella aesthetic, but
Yes.
it's kind of random. You're riding around on you're driving around on a car that like broke down and can fly and shit. I can live with that, but then like let's stop here and catch like an alligator car. What?
Yeah.
What?
I think
I actually remember.
What? I don't understand.
15 is
just so
definitely a
random.
very hit or miss for all kind of
Oh,
players. Really, like
absolutely.
they try to do something like different, and I think for some people they really enjoyed that, and for some people that kind of expected something from Final Fantasy, they didn't like it. I think that
so.
was-
Yeah.
that was what they tried. But especially with 15, the 16's coming out. Oh, those are coming out soon, but they've announced 16. Have you boys seen a trailer or anything about it?
I to be
Nothing.
honest, I think I'm probably gonna not get it because I'm kind of done with JRPG
Yeah,
or rather
fair enough.
FF. It's very lengthy, and I don't really want to.
I mean,
Yeah, hours
that-
later.
That's fair enough, but I mean, like, it's good to like kind of know what's in the.
Yeah,
in the,
no, absolutely.
Yeah. It's worth.
I mean,
How's the
if-
trailer?
if we're gonna
it's
talk
pretty.
about
It's
it,
pretty. It's pretty badass. It's like more medieval, like kind of Dark Soul kind of like looking vibes.
Interesting.
And Yoshida's directing it as well.
Oh shit! Okay, that changes a bit. That changes
Yeah.
a bit. Okay. That changes. So Yoshida T is the director for the FF14. Yoshida saved the game. Yoshida
Yeah.
saved
Oh,
FF14.
of course.
Yeah, so he's like the god and savior of the FF14 community.
Like actually saved it. Like
Bro,
if you
100% saved it.
dive into the history, like the first iteration of Final Fantasy 14 was a failure, and they had to literally destroy it and remake it.
And Yoshida did that, and he made it the like giant that it is. And people like the community loves Yoshida, man. He's like their god, man. He's so good. Fair enough. Like he's done an amazing job with it. Before we keep waffling on about FF too much, we should probably talk about your
Last one,
VN
yeah.
on the list, your Katawa Shoujo.
So Kato Shoujo, I'm sure Gaius has played it. I know. T, have you delved into this one yet?
I have never seen or touched this, my guy.
Do you know what a VN is, T? Have you ever played a VN?
Is that Vietnam?
Yeah. So
Yes.
Katawa Shoujo is a Vietnam. There's like virtual novels, visual novels. I think you.
Oh,
you
no.
Tokidoki Literature Club. That's one of them.
Yeah. So
Oh,
Tokidoki
gotcha.
vibes.
There we go.
So like you choose
Thank you.
options, like and sort of stuff, and you go for a story. I think if I'm not wrong, Katawa came from 4chan, right?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
The 4chan slash I think /a/ the anime one.
Yeah. If we could, from the scum forums of the earth to produce something like this.
Bro, that's the most wholesome game I would say is on this list. It's probably one of the most wholesome in terms of like pure story and character development. It's so good, man. It's so good. It's also probably one of the most Legion.
Yeah.
So
it's good.
So
it's
not
good.
it's not twisted like Tokidoki anything. It's
No.
So the thing about VNs, and I love VNs. I personally love VNs because there's such a wide genre because it's just it's a novel, right?
Yeah.
So you can have your freaky ones like Tokidoki or Higarushi, which is a murder one. Higurashi, sorry, which is like a murder one, and all these different ones. Or you can have like sci-fi ones, or you can have Katawa, or you can have blah 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 blah, blah right? There's so many of them.
Story.
And I love VNs because it's like real casual playing, man. You don't have to like you no brainer. You just follow the story. If you like story like me, like I like character development, I like story, I like world building, right? I would say VNs take all the extra like gameplay nonsense out that could ruin a game and just make it good. Like it's just your story. You want to know a story? Here you go.
Pretty true.
How did this make your top 9? I guess, Ray.
So this is one of the first ones that really like dipped into visual novels, really, and I think that's kind of what introduced me to the genre. So it has to have like this kind of space in here. It's got a space in my heart for this.
Oh, definitely.
This genre, and it was very strong as well. Like it's like even now I remember most of the stories of how some of the ghosts inside.
I mean, it's like for something that's community created, that is basically backed by, like, I don't even know if it was crowdfunded at that time, but I'm pretty sure it was, right? It's backed by 4chan, which is insane. And for something to be that in depth, there's so many routes to on this. So routes of it, like which is your waifu, basically, right? Which one you're gonna go with, which storyline you want to go with, and stuff. And all of them, I would say, all of them. Okay,
like strong.
Most of them are very strong. Like 90% of them are very strong, right? Ray and I have our our favorites. Obviously, everyone has their favorites, and I think that's what's so cool about it. It's there's something for everyone. No matter what kind of gamer you are, I've never known anyone who hated Katawa. I genuinely haven't.
Damn.
It's
That's
a
big
strong
praise.
game.
Fucking hell.
Give it a try. T. It's free, and it's also like very
It's
very
free
short.
and it's still free, and it's just easy playing, bro. It's still on my desktop. I haven't touched it in like months or years even, and it's still just sitting there because it's.
To be fair,
I mean, it's a small game anyway.
If you didn't tell me anything except that 4chan backs it, I would have told you to fuck off. Genuinely, I would have been like, fuck
Yeah. No,
right.
I 100% agree with that. With that decision. It's not something you would expect out of 4chan, but it's genuinely one of the best VNs I've probably ever played. It's just very strong. It's like surprisingly strong, and to be fair, a lot of VNs are in Japanese as well, so there is that barrier. It's hard for people to get into, but you have this, which is in pure English. It's is it voice acted? No, there's no voice acting anyway. It's like very minimal. And so
maybe noises and stuff. That's all.
Noises like
yeah.
But there's some sound to it, and it's a good game. It's a good game. There's nothing more I can say about it. It's a really good game. And it's free. So what do you have to lose? Really, if you hate it, just delete it.
Do you have any bonus mentions?
Do you have any like words that you really want to put in here, but you didn't? Or you
let me swing up my list again. I think I had. What did I write in here?
30 games.
It's like 40 games down to 9.
Like a lot of the stuff, I think I grouped in together, like the Battlefield, Call of Duty, and Halo, that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, like a lot of the stuff I
You
grouped
cheated
together, but
a
like
little.
Halo was like fucking. I remember
Oh my God, Halo,
waiting till
what is
midnight at EB Games at like a plaza, waiting for Halo to come out. And we bought Halo and fucking finished it that night with my cousin.
No
that sort of
shit.
stuff. Yeah.
This guy's a gamer, bro. This guy's a gamer.
Literally with no pre-ordering shit, no waiting to download. We actually went to the store, waited in line with everyone else just to buy the game. Go home,
Nice.
7 in the morning, and completely finished it. That was Halo 2. I remember it very clearly because the end was a bit funny. He was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go finish this fight," and then the game ended.
Yeah, and then Halo 3 came out, and then Scorpion Tanks ruined multiplayer for it.
Yeah.
I mean, and then I suppose the other thing was like, so we didn't go over too much about the Warcraft, the whole custom map stuff, like all the small warlock stuff and all the base building stuff. That was the other part of it.
Yeah. I mean, Warcraft 3. I'm thinking it'll be on Thillak. Actually, I don't know if T played it much, but Warcraft 3 was massive. All the custom maps. You have to. Anyone
you
who
can go
plays
hours
games,
into that.
Yeah. We really good. There's so many custom maps in Warcraft 3 that
Literally.
was so good. But
just before we carry on, though, how did the custom maps come around from Warcraft 3? Was it just like
it's always been a thing
client?
It's ever since StarCraft. StarCraft had its own custom maps with like this. What is it called? Where there was the Zerg maps. Is it Zerg? Is that what it's called? Where you like play?
I think.
Yeah. I can't remember what it's called, but it was hella fun, right? And so it like kind of spawned from there, StarCraft, and then Ice Frog created Dota, and it just went insane. It just went absolutely gangbusters.
Ice Frog! Oh my God, that's the one. Yes.
The king, bro, the king of like custom maps. He created a game that basically made him a billionaire. I mean, it's like $1 billion industry, Dota 2 right now. It's insane. Yeah, it's insane. All right, shall I launch into my 3 and 3, guys?
Fuck yeah! What a good start, Ray. Fucking smashed it.
All right, mine is probably not going to surprise you for half, and then it might surprise you for the other half.
If you've got some weeb shit, man,
of course I've got weeb shit on here. All right, let's go.
Bring this
Let's go. I would say one of these probably has like a recency bias. I think you guys know which one. Recency bias to it, but at the same time, it's like I have never gotten into a game so hard and so fast and with so many hours before.
I think there's 1 or 2 here. I'm like, what the fuck? The rest, I'm like, yeah,
absolutely no idea about. Right?
Yeah, what's
I can give a quick run.
I'm gonna read through it. All right,
go through it. Yeah.
The absolute top tier, Witcher 3 complete edition. I cheated a little, because it's the whole game. Anyone who knows me knows Witcher 3 by far one of the best games I've ever played. I love it. Like it's hard to beat that game in my heart. Like it's a straight 10 out of 10. That's all I have to say. I cheated on the second one a little because instead of the Mass Effect 1, 2, or 3, I just put Legendary Edition, which has all 3 of them. If I had to pick, probably 3. 2 is technically stronger, but I like 3 more, so fuck you. CSGO, how can I not talk about that? You know, we three of us have spent 500 hours on it together easily. You know, it's a great game. Puzzle Pirates, I'll get into that. I know it's super niche. I don't think anyone here has heard of it. I don't think any of our listeners has heard of it. Maybe, but I'll talk about that. Surprisingly, I'm pretty sure it's from like Ubisoft. I think.
Oh, really?
I can't. I'm not 100 on that. Dragon Age 2, my favorite Dragon Age, is very hard choice for me between DA1, DA2, DAI, DA 1.5. But 2 was by far the one that I've played most. So how I decided was like how many times I replayed it, or how many times I can replay it over and over and not get sick of it. DA2 is probably one of my most clocked games of all times as well. I've played it just way too much. The Fallout series, how can I not mention Bethesda? I like the Fallout series more than I like the Elder Scrolls series, which is like probably sacrilege to say.
Yeah, what the hell?
I don't. I'm gonna be honest right now, and it's another the classic Gaius hot take. Skyrim isn't that strong versus like New Vegas. New Vegas is so good, man. Like it's so slept on. It's probably not slept on, but like it's just so good. And it's the irony is not even from like I think it's not even from Bethesda. It's like Obsidian, if I'm not wrong. But it's so good. New Vegas is genuinely so goddamn good. I cry about it at night. Dishonored 2 from Bethesda this time. It's one of the games where I would say it's actually. I mean, one versus 2, very hard to pick, right? Two is so easy playing for me. Like I've played it so much. I sped run it, in fact. Like it's just so easy playing for me to get back into it. Like sometimes I just get a mood. I'm like, I'm just gonna run through Dishonored again, and I just run through Dishonored 2, and it's like a no-brainer. It's like the game where I can go back to casually, or if I want to go hardcore at it, if I want to play it on whatever difficulty, I want a new challenge. I play Dishonored 2. Very easy. This is the same as Raymond. Katawa Shoujo introduced me to the whole VN genre. It's like the OG for me. And then the last one, surprise, surprise, Apex Legends. Apex Legends is the one I'm kind of like about because there is the recency bias. It's the game I'm currently playing the most of, right?
I think that's why, yeah.
But I will say it's the only game where within a month I've clocked up 300 hours. I literally have 300 hours on that game, and I've only started in season 9, end of season. So yeah, I've played a lot of Apex Legends.
Yeah,
a lot of Apex Legends. I think I played like 30 hours over the last 3 days, bro. Like, let's be honest.
I think the most obvious question here is, what the fuck is going with Yo Ho Ho Puzzle Pirates, my guy?
Puzzle Pirates. It's an MMO, right? Where you are a surprise, a pirate, and everything you do in it is a puzzle. Everything's a different puzzle. You have your classic Bejeweled style puzzles, right? To your classic kind of I don't even know what they're called, like Tetris style, I guess. Tetris-esque. There's just so many of them. There's just so many of them, right? Yeah. And so, like, let's say you are doing a crafting kind of job. It's an MMO, so obviously there's crafting, there's like raiding, there's all these kind of things, right? And so let's say you're doing a crafting one. That would take a puzzle to do. Then if you do the puzzle well, you get 50% added loot on top of that or whatever, right? Let's say you do a raid. The raid itself is a puzzle, in the sense that it's like a chessboard, right? You have to move your ship accordingly, and you have to like fight the other players, and there's PvP and all that kind of stuff to it. So if you imagine like literally everything in there is a puzzle, that's the game. Like if you can imagine any MMO thing that you can mention, it's a puzzle. So if you're talking about raiding, you're talking about crafting, you're talking about dungeons, you're talking about like even like mini games. You have like poke in here, bro, which is obviously, I guess, a puzzle.
I guess.
It's more extensive than you think. Like when I first started it, I was literally like, I don't even know how I got into it. I'm pretty sure it was like an ad on mini clips that I was like, oh, looks fun, I'll give it a go. And bro, like a rabbit hole, man. That is a rabbit hole.
Unreal.
What I want to know about this game though is like if you say everything's a puzzle, right? But and then there's dungeons and raids. Like, how does that interact with the other players?
Yeah,
do you play on the same puzzle board, or
okay? So it's like everyone has how it works, right? It starts off. Let's say like if you can imagine tiers of a puzzle, right? Let's say it's just Bejeweled. Let's just keep it simple. Everyone knows Bejeweled, right? Let's say it's Bejeweled. Let's say you're doing so there's different ranks. There's like sailing, there's bilging, there's gunning, there's thing when you're in the dungeon because you're on a boat, right? You're literally on a boat sailing into a dungeon and you're fighting mobs and shit. As you play, and let's say you clear the board and you're like god tier at level 1 board, right? They introduce some things to it. So like there's now there's like stones that block the way of your bejeweled board or whatever, and it gets harder and harder and harder. But as you clear them faster and faster, it becomes the better you do it and the faster you do it, you basically get added points. And let's say you're bilging, which is basically getting water out of the ship. Let's say you do that really fast, right? Your ship will literally have no water, which then affects gameplay in the sense that your ship's faster, you do more damage, blah 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 blah.
Oh, okay.
Right?
So
PvP wise, bro, you want the good ones. You want the good players. You want the top tier players, and that's where the competition comes in, right? And no, but wait, T, let me get into this. The reason why it's on this is firstly, I sank way too much hours into this, right? But secondly, I was world rank on this. I was actually world rank on this.
Fucking stop it, man.
I wouldn't say world. I think, if I'm not wrong, there's like 3 servers as usual because of ping, right? So I think I was either on NA or one of the big ones, right? And I was literally server rank. I think I was like easily top 10. I think I was like 7th or 6th in the world of that server.
Were they 20 players? Like,
no, bro. This game was huge. It's so niche, but it was huge. And I remember why it mattered was because you had such clout in this game. I was like a gunner, right? Like, I was really good at gunning, which is, if you imagine like 4 cannons, and you had to and on the board, right, things are like flying by, and you have to like rearrange arrows and stuff to shoot things in different directions to do it in a specific sequence. So you have to load up, quote unquote, the cannons in a specific order, right? It's like A, B, C kind of thing. And so these things are flying past and shit, and it's all like, it's not reaction speed, it's like planning and like basically how you're gonna move the arrows around and shit. And I got so good at it, and I was literally like server ranked, and I was like wanted by like all the top like guilds and shit, which is insane.
Fuck off.
Yeah, like no shit. Like I don't have a screenshot and shit. I can't prove it. Like, but why would I lie about fucking puzzle pirates? Why would I lie about this? You know, it's not something I'm like proud of. It's not a brag, but I was literally ranked in it, and that's how much I played it. I played so much, I was literally server ranked.
You legit make this sound like either a gateway drug into fucking gambling, or like it's a game that you show your kids to learn like alphabet or like directions. That's literally what I hear.
The
from
thing is, right, because it's puzzles, everyone's like, oh, it's so simple and stuff. But like any other game, right, there's a skill ceiling to it. And in any game, I will argue in any game, when you're like one of the top players, you fucking love it because you're one of the top players. You like stomp it, right? Fair. And so when we were like PvPing or whatever, right, bro, we were untouchable. I was like a fucking god in that. And which shows firstly that I have no life when it comes to this game, and secondly, like, again, why would I put my time into this? I could have been pro at any game, and in fact, the one game I'm server ranked on is Puzzle Pirates. How sad is that? Literally, I could have been server ranked like God tier at CSGO, anything if I put time into it, but nah, I chose Puzzle Pirates. It earns me $0. I have no bragging rights. I have 0 clout right now. It's still going actually, this game. But yeah,
really,
it's still going. It's on Steam. I played it like a couple of years ago. I replayed it, and I was like, man, I am not server ranked anymore. I am terrible at this now. But it's only on there because of, so that I can brag to our audiences about how much of a loser I am. I will say though, like, the premise sounds so simple, but if you like puzzles or puzzle games in general, that game has like every puzzle imaginable.
It'll be addictive, I guess. Yeah.
Like any kind of puzzle, you know, like we keep saying the bejeweled style puzzles, right? But there's so many different ones. You launch into like the Steam puzzle genre, there's like a billion of them, right? There's like the what do you call it? The puzzle bubble type, the OG, where you shoot like little things into the sky to break 3 of them, or there's like the Tetris type, or like this type or that, blah, 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 right? Or the like good old memory card type where you like match 2 to 2 or whatever. There's everything. Everything's in there in terms of puzzle, which is why I think it was so addictive, because I loved puzzle games at that point, and I played it way too much at that point. So yeah, that's Puzzle Pirates, T. That is Puzzle Pirates, and that is probably the biggest embarrassment on this board. Not because it's Puzzle Pirates, but because of how much I played it.
That's
yeah, but I'll fight anyone to the death for any of these other games.
I remember you used to try to convince me to get into Dragon Age and Dishonored, even Mass Effect.
God, bro,
I've never heard you.
There, but I would still tell you by far.
I've never heard you. Hang on, I've never heard you talk with so much passion as you've just talked about fucking Puzzle Pirates.
If you were well ranked at a game, you bet your ass you're gonna talk to me about it with that much passion, alright? Like, okay, CSGO, you were global elite, basically well ranked, right? You love CSGO. you would talk to me about the same kind of passion with it about CS:GO with it. Same with League of Legends and stuff. It's just when you're that good at a game, it's hard to hate it. You just like look, I've sank like 1,000 hours into this game. I'm a fucking like literally a god in this game.
Literally,
when I do anything, I'm like untouchable. I mean, come on, man! You're like shitting on like 5-year-old kids and shit because you're just
god
much
complex.
better. Like it's that. It's exactly
feels
that.
good, man,
When you're
don't it?
pub stomping, it always feels good. When you're just like, oh, what are you gonna do? What are you going to do? You're like, whatever. What are you? Are you even ranked, bro? And you're just like, I'm 7th in the world, bro. It literally feels so good. But then now you look back, you're like, that doesn't feel good. I'm such a loser. Such a shit game. Not a shit game. Sorry, it's just such a waste of my time. A game that's not like, if you're gonna get good at a game, get good at a competitive game. Is what I always say.
If you went spent about time in Puzzle Pirates and in Paper Story, you'd be like top in the world in CS:GO.
Well, let's just say I would be Fangblade, all right? Like whatever my game character would be. I think at that point it's GT or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Would be Fangblade, all right? It wouldn't be Fangblade who has the clout. It would be me, all right? Me who has the clout as the top Maple Story level player ever.
Has Tash ever seen you play this fucking
Do
game?
not talk about these things to Tash. Does not need to know my Puzzle Pirate. Nah, she knows. She's seen me play it. And she's like, what the fuck are you up to? Because like it's funny because I remember when I played it again, right? It was like Tash has no interest in my gaming, right? Like she just doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's fair. Like people have different interests, whatever. I remember when I replayed Puzzle Pirates was literally after I'm pretty sure I played like Witcher 3 maybe, and then I went back to Puzzle, and it was like Witcher 3 AAA game, looks so good, plays so well, aesthetic as hell, great voice acting, and then it's like, what is this like pixelated ass like people are like the size of my thumb kind of thing, And she's like, what are you playing? And I was like, I can explain. It's porn. Let's just say it's porn.
You rather just say porn?
Play those games that you're so embarrassed by, you rather people think it's porn. Literally, that's
100%.
But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's on there because it's one of it's my like childhood game where I sank a lot of hours into.
Fair.
I can brag about it, maybe in a way.
No way, you're
actually,
fucking bragging.
Did you
about
grow up
that.
in Malaysia, T, or did you grow up in NZ? You grew up here, eh?
I mean, I moved when I was 8 years old, so a bit, but I never really gamed.
Did your brother ever play a game called Shattered Galaxy?
Not from memory, no.
Okay, that's fine. It's an MMORPG, and it was huge back then. I remember playing it, and I sank a lot of hours into that as well. And I just remembered that as well. So yeah, that's Puzzle Pirates. What else do you want to ask me about my list, boys?
Dishonored 1 and 2? Like, I personally enjoyed Dishonored 1 a lot more than Dishonored 2. I
like Dishonored 1 story-wise more. Dishonored 1 story-wise is better. But I like Dishonored 2 because of, in my opinion, the replayability of Dishonored 2 is better because of the New Game Plus. Being able to combine both their skills and just do, like, crazy fun shit. I showed Damien, for example, the other day, right? You remember Mian? T. I showed him the other day. I told him about this one, like, not exploit, but this one thing where you can do in this level, which like lets you speedrun it. And he's like, oh, okay, show me. And I did it, right? And I was like, man, I forgot how fun it is to just like do different, like play it different every time and like unlock different ways to do it. And I'm pretty sure if I did that speedrun right now, I'm pretty sure I could clear that level in like under 5 minutes.
Ooh.
That whole level, because that way of doing it, if you're not going for like Ghost or whatever, right? That way of doing it is just so much faster, right? And you can only do that with New Game Plus, sorry. So yeah, I like Dishonored 2 more because of its replayability. Story-wise, I would say 1 might be stronger, but 2 does have its strong points. Like, you played 2, Ray? Did you play 2?
I played a bit of it. I never got to the end of it. I did like halfway. I think like part of it was like you get to use Emily or Koval, right?
Yes.
One of the two.
So you get to use one of the two. Combining them, by far one of the most fun ways to play it, because in New Game Plus you get to decide if you want to like use both their skills or whatever in the same character.
Do you feel like that makes it so too strong though? Like
it makes it OP in a way.
Yeah.
But I mean, who the hell plays on it like normal, bro? Like go harder.
That's true. To be fair,
we're gamers, man. I don't play on easy. What is that?
It follows Gaius' god complex.
No, it's not that. The Dishonored 2, the one reason why I love it more as well is there's one level. You guys know my opinion on any time travel kind of thing, right? I hate it. I feel like time travel is never done well. It's never done well, right? in Dishonored 2, there's one level, I can't remember what it's called. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but people who play will know. It's the Aramis Stilton's mansion one, right? Where they did time travel so well. Just so well. Like, to me, it made sense. There was really very little loopholes or even none. They thought about all the paradoxes that could happen, because if you did anything in the old one, in the new one, it would take place literally in that same time frame. Like, you don't have to reload or save or anything. You come back and it's like, holy shit, it's just a different like mansion, right? So without spoiling it, basically, like, for example, imagine a dystopian world, right? And you did that one thing that would save the dystopian world, and you come back in time and the whole world is different. Literally, you do that in real time in the game, which impressed me, because I was like, that is really well written. Never have I played a time travel game where I'm like, yeah, this is good. Every time travel thing, I'm like, this is so full of like loopholes. I hate time travel. It's never done well to me, in my opinion, right? And so Dishonored 2 did that really well. And for me to be able to do that in a game like Dishonored, where it's really like, I mean, it's pretty casual, maybe I would say. It's not exactly the hardest game. If you can't play Dishonored, you're not very good, man. I'm sorry. It's not a hard game to get into. I mean, we joke about that, but like, normal mode is very simple as a stealth game, because you can literally teleport behind people. Like, literally, right? It's not like Metal Gear Solid or whatever. So yeah, Dishonored 2 did that really well. So story-wise, I'm like, it might not be as strong as overall as Dishonored 1's, but it has really, really strong points. And when they shine, they hella shown, man. They hella shown. And so I love shined, whatever. I hella love Dishonored 2. It's one of the games that I can go back into without, like, just right back into it. Don't even have to think about it. Just replay it, and it's just fun. It's just endless fun. Yeah. So I love Dishonored. Yeah. Really, really good.
Speaking about like that sort of like you said time travel stuff, have you guys ever heard about the new game coming out that's called like Deathloop or something? If for me it feels like a Dishonored kind of game.
I actually haven't.
I haven't either.
I haven't even heard about it. Yeah, actually.
Okay, I'll link you guys afterwards and you can have a look into it. But it feels like it feels like the next Dishonored, but more time travel-y. But if we haven't heard about it,
Interesting.
I'll send you later. We can talk
do you
about
guys
it.
even
Anyway.
T, do you like stealth games?
No, I think I've told you this before. When I play that
you rather
kind of
go
game.
in guns blazing, don't you?
Exactly. I hate, like, even fucking, this is why where when my brother used to play Metal Gear Solid, like the old school PS2 ones, I used to fucking hate it, man, because you had to like walk around and one guy's like, huh? And oh man, I fucking hated that shit so much. I'm more of a guns a blazing kind of guy.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Fair.
It's a certain type of play. That, I mean, it requires not
Like,
patience, but like, yeah, you definitely need
I would
a
say
certain
patience.
amount of patience.
You
Yeah,
have to,
okay,
like,
patience.
wait
You need
around
patience, bro. Let's
corners.
be honest.
Sit inside a trash can.
You need to be a rat.
Literally.
Fucking rat.
But if
Well,
that's
let me
the case, like maybe like the Hitman series where you have a choice, right? Is that
The Hitman series
your-
I
Oh,
played, I think
yeah.
the Hitman 3 series, it's too short for my liking, and it's very, very easy.
Yeah.
Because it's so open, right? Like, I feel like stealth games need a certain level of
narrowness or like
and
corridors,
rigidity, where you can literally do anything, bro. It was like I cleared the game in like 5 hours or whatever, right? It was so easy. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to 100% it, maybe it's different. Where you have to do like some different, you have to set it up and then lead this guy into this room so they can hit shot him from across the map and shit. But as like a game where you like literally can just like put on a guy's like uniform, walk into a room, shoot him, run away. What? Like, what? How's that hard? It takes no skill. Maybe I'm just like not playing it right, but to me it was like, okay, this is kind of boring. I just ended up shooting NPCs, bro. I was just like, lol.
I mean, who doesn't shoot NPCs in that game?
Exactly. Yeah. Why would
I
you?
was like, oh, I'm in India now. Let's shot grenades and see what happens. Boom, 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 boom. Everyone dies. I was like, oh shit, this is fun. And I'm in like San Francisco or whatever now. Let's kill everyone here. Like, that's literally what I ended up doing. And I was like, well, this is not the way the game's meant to be played. So yeah, I don't know. I found it a bit. It's not like it was too easy. It was just it lacked kind of like that variability to it. It's like I could literally do the same thing every game, every scenario, and it would just work. So I was like,
That's fair, yeah.
average.
What else is interesting?
I think so. Mass Effect, right? So you've Legendary Edition. So is the most recent one number 4?
No. Okay, so Mass Effect Legendary Edition is a remake, or rather a remaster, but they changed one because one was by far the weakest one. It was the oldest, and it was the hardest to play through as a new player. They changed it so it suited the same kind of HUD and
Everyone
gameplay.
can get
I guess,
amongst
in a way,
it. Yeah,
as
yeah.
2 and 3. So right now, that one the remake of 1 is by far the best ME1 experience because there's only 2, obviously. But like
Spicy.
it's really good. It's really, really, really good. It
So
actually
they-
made 1 really good. And I hated 1, right? So Legendary Edition for me was one of the best. But it goes 1, 2, 3, MS 1, 2, 3, and then Andromeda. Andromeda is a different world.
Andromeda, that's the one. Okay, yeah.
I clocked Andromeda within the 2 days of it releasing. And it was all right. It was the fight mechanics of it definitely a lot more fun. The combat a lot more fun. The story was very weak, and I think that's why people didn't like it. Character
It
development
got
was
shat on, right?
very...
It's
got
because
shat on.
it was so hyped though, and I think when the hype is like that, with like Last of Us, so when the hype
Exactly.
is there
Yeah.
and doesn't meet the hype, it gets fucking shat on, doesn't
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the MA 1, 2, 3 was, and I think this is why I keep saying, right? Like, you don't have to make it an open world for it to be good. Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 are not open worlds. They're like almost like instant based, right? Instance based, where you load into a thing and it's like it's big or small, but then you go through it and it's like, you can do this in this instance, and then you have to preload the next page, blah 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 blah. It's not an open world per se. But those 3 games on its own, I would say shit on like 80% of the open world games out there right now. Like those 3 games, story-wise, character development-wise, world building-wise, are so strong.
It was big, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, bro, they're the best thing BioWare has produced. Even better than the Dragon Age series, and I love the Dragon Age series. Mass Effect is so good. Like the amount of different ways you can play, the amount of decisions that you can make wrongly or correctly that then influence your run in 2 or 3 are so many. Like back then, you couldn't.
Oh, it leads on, does it?
Okay, so you can make decisions in 1 that impact 3 is what I'm saying.
Oh,
and
really?
this is like 150 hours into playing, and you're like,
that's pretty epic. Because like before they were separate games, so it didn't work, right? But now if you
correct.
No. 1, 2, 3 always led on. Same save file. The problem was that because back then there was no kind of like save file editor or whatever, right? So let's say you played it on PS1 or whatever, then you play on PC, you're like, shit, like I have to rebuy Mass Effect 1 on Steam and then replay it and then go into 2 and port it over or whatever. Now, because like if let's say you play on PC, you can reload, you can just load a save file of what you want and then do that, right? So I think that's what open kind of accessibility to it. But yeah, 1 leads on to 2, which leads on to 3, and 1 can impact 3 as well. Decisions you make in 1 literally impact decisions you make in 3.
So what happened to the players that just bought 3 and didn't have a save file from 1 and 2?
I mean, they're fucking scrubs, bro. I have all 3 collections on every console. I have it on PS3.
Actually, no, that's
I have it on PS4, and I have it on.
Such a fucking weeb. So that's a good point. Like, for example, if an action in Mass Effect 1 killed someone in Mass Effect 3, how would a new player come into that when? Like, was it be there?
You can't. Like, I'm gonna be honest. That probably is one of the barriers as well. You can't play 3 well without playing 1, or you can't do it without at least having a save editor and knowing the story. What Dragon Age did really well, Dragon Age Inquisition, right? When it came out, what they did really well was they created what they called the DA Dragon Age Keep, and it had a tapestry. And so what the tapestry is you can choose decisions online. You can literally load. It's an app online where you load. Okay, in DA1 this happened, DA2 this happened. Therefore, this is how I want it to impact my DAI.
All right, got you.
So it then allowed, in a way, quote unquote, crossplay. If you were PS3 before and you're coming over to PC, it allowed you to do that without having to rebuy and replay the whole game, or without using illegal mods like save editors or anything like that. So that's what they did. I think in Mass Effect 3 they might have that in terms of the I'm not 100%. I think they might have launched something for that, but then to be very honest, most people who love Mass Effect have all the editions anyway. Like we just have it. It's just what we do.
I wonder if it's like for example, if I got into Mass Effect 3, whether it'd be like Witcher 3, if you played it.
No.
I think there's like a scene where like they tell you like yes or no for like the decisions you made in the previous games. Like they make you
get shed on. They don't, bro. You're gonna get shed on if you. Okay. The reason why Mass Effect is so appealing is because like you need to. I don't know a single person who's run through the whole Mass Effect once and be like, "Yep, I'm happy with everything. That was my perfect run." There is a perfect run. In there, I would say, in my opinion, there is a perfect run, and it's very specific. You need to know the game to be able to do it. Like, for example, me and my mate Max, when we play Mass Effect Legendary Edition, bro, it was no brainer for us. We knew everything we had to do. It was like boom, 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 one go, perfect run. All right, sweet, we're done with Legendary Effect. And then I did it on insane difficulty, right? So
That's
that was
sick.
my 2 runs. But if you, as a new player, and that's part of the fun, right? As a new player, you have to start with 1. I would strongly encourage everyone to start with 1 because the legendary effect editions 1 is so much better now, and you just grow to love the characters. Character development in this game is half the battle. You actually grow to love all the characters. They're so strong, bro. The voice acting, the writing, everything about it is so
The whole
strong.
shebang.
Yeah, the
So
whole shebang.
Here's the classic normie question.
Yeah.
Can I go into Mass Effect 1 based on graphics?
Yes, now that they've remade it, it's playable. Back then, I would die. I mean, you know me, bro. I couldn't play 1 because it was so old. It was like,
Literally,
potato mode. I played 1 just to get my decisions done for 2, right? 1 is so playable now on Legendary Edition. So good on Legendary Edition. So I would say absolutely you can get into it. They remove a lot of the annoying mechanics that plagued 1 as well. So now it's like very much playable. It's more like 2, and 2 is, if I'm not wrong, one of the highest rated games on Metacritic of all times.
Holy shit! Okay.
Yeah. Mass Effect 2.
They've remastered it.
Oh, Mass Effect 2 is by far, in terms of like general opinion, is the best of the whole trilogy.
Yeah.
I like 3 more because I like 3. But 2 is really, really, really good, man. And 2 is the harder one, actually. 2 is really
I
hard.
like 3 because I like 3.
I thought
I like
3
3
was
because I like 3.
But 3 was the weird one where there was only 3 endings, like red or blue.
So red, blue, green. Yeah, 3 was the one that people hated because of the original ending. But I would say people have revised it. Now that if you play the Legendary Edition from 1 straight to 3 in one go, right?
Yeah.
The ending doesn't let you down as much, especially if you know what you're doing. But I would also argue that the 3's gameplay in general and the storyline of 3 I really enjoy. I like the whole war part rather than like, oh shit, the galaxy's at war, but I'm just focusing on one race, one people, one thing.
Right.
Right. It's more like
I can't spoil too much because, like, you know, Legendary Edition just came out. Most people might still be playing it. I don't know. There's a lot of new players that came into Mass Effect actually because of the LE edition.
Makes sense. Yeah.
But what I would say is, let me put things in perspective. In 1, right, a decision you make kills maybe 1 person, for example. In 2, a decision you make kills maybe half your squad, right?
Oh shit!
In 3, a decision you make in 3 literally wipes out a whole race. Literally a whole race.
Oh fuck!
That's the difference, and that's why for me it was so impactful. Was like, shit, I managed to like broker a peace or whatever between 2 races. I managed to save a race. I managed to like prolong the future of a race, and then you get to
more
the
impactful.
end. Exactly, and for me that's world building. That for me is a true RPG where it's not just they tell you the story. It's like, this is my story of how I played Shepard, of how I played this game. Not to mention, there's 2 ways of playing the exact same route. You know, if you want to play the perfect game, you can do it as a Paragon or as a Renegade. Renegade's the like quote unquote badass evil route where you're like a fucking, people are saying something like, oh, I feel bad, and you're like, who the fuck cares, right? Or you're playing the Paragon route, or oh, I feel bad, and you're like, come here, babies, let me give you a kiss on forehead, kind of thing. And so and so that's the 2 kind of routes, and that to me is amazing. And I stand by it. I would fight anyone to the death about Mass Effect. It's just one of the best games of all times. Yeah.
So if we go into The Witcher, have you played Witcher 3?
I think I went over this once with you guys, but like I think I didn't get very far into it because I didn't enjoy the healing mechanic back in the day when I was playing it. Because it's not an instant heal.
Who's the casual gamer now, my guy?
I did not enjoy it. I could just pause the game and eat 50 breads and heal. I think I came to it after doing Skyrim, which you could do that. So I think
what the fuck's healing?
Why are you even damaged to begin with? Fucking
why are you gonna get it, bro? I will say that's
fair enough.
Thing, though. You can play the whole game with like the skills and shit and not get hit, which is I think why the healing is not as strong. Like most RPGs and stuff, your healing is like your potions are really important, right? You go in like fully stack and stuff. In like this one, I would argue it helps, but it's not entirely the entire game. You can get through it. I'm pretty sure I got through it without using a potion because of the way you can do your skill tree. I think because I'm a pro.
I think Witcher 3 is one of the most diverse in terms of the alchemy, the skill tree, the whole shebang. I've never seen a game personally like it,
man.
where it's so complex, man, and it's like, fuck.
Witcher 3's like just replayability. I mean, I've clocked that game way too much, man. I've played that game way too many times, and it's still so fun. I can just get back into it. The thing is, though, if you're gonna start Witcher 3, it's like 150 hours easily, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And every side quest, and this is what I love. This is the key point of Witcher 3. Every side quest is a different story that feels impactful to the world, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you want to talk about, let's say, FF15 or any of the big kind of AAA games during this time of The Witcher 3, right? Nowadays, people are starting to catch on. Like, this is the way we should do it. Even Mass Effect or whatever, all the side quests were like, fuck, man, let's go to this place, like fetch quest. You know, you go to this place, get 5 muttons or whatever, come back and drop it in, and it's like, here's some PhD. Done. Doesn't affect the world at all. In Witcher 3, every side quest is amazingly voice acted.
Absolutely, yeah.
It's amazing backstory that builds the world even more. It's like a poor peasant guy whose wife just got murdered by a monster, and you have to like track it down and kill it, and then you realize, wait, no, he murdered his wife, kind of thing, you know? And it's like, like, who does that for side quest? It's like a random, like maybe half an hour only added on every time. But it's a side quest, bro. They have hundreds of these in there.
Like,
who sat down and wrote all these up? Like, the good
100%.
studio, bro.
I feel like there's so many different teams working on each side quest, like as if like to treat like a main quest. Like it was like you said, it's not like you're just helping a lady cross the street. Like it's genuinely some of the side quests are, in my opinion, on par, if not better than the main quest. Like some of them were like so fucking nuts.
It's so diverse, and games are starting to catch on that what Witcher 3 did. Witcher 3 shed on the scoreboards, you know, when it came out. Like it destroyed every critic, it destroyed everything. It was just the best game of its time. And people are catching on that you need to make good content. You can't just put like, we're sick of fetch quests, man. We're sick of like RPGs where it's like, well, this literally adds nothing to the game. There's no point doing it. FF14 and sorry, FF15, and that's what I mean, right? You know, why am I fishing in FF15? Whereas in Witcher, I'm fishing because I'm trying to fish out that like fish monster that just wrecked half a village or whatever, right? Or really cool. I'm in this weird scary as dungeon thing because there's a monster in here, or like there's a bandits in here or something. And there's literally, I remember one of the ones that's just really cool. It's like, oh, there's this like ghost haunting this you know, that you get paid to like hunt this ghost down who's like haunting this like altar or something, and it's been like people are worshipping it and shit, and you as a witcher who's a monster killer, right? You go and investigate, and you realize, oh wait, there's actually a trapdoor at the back, and people have been like hiding there, like bandits have been hiding there, and like scamming people of their money, and they come out, and you go in and you like kill all the bandits and shit. I mean, what? That's just such a good story for like a like it's literally like a 5-minute quest, right? But who writes that? It's so good. It just came out of nowhere, right? Like who goes and sits down and plans that? And it probably didn't take just 5 minutes to make, right? But it's so much better than half the fucking side quests I played already. Just like that.
Exactly.
Just like that in that 5 minutes.
Like, the only thing that, like, legit, the only thing that breaks my heart about all of this is like that kind of studio. That's why there was so much hype with like 2077 and shit. And then a game like that, which potentially had so much potential, got ruined by bugs. Imagine like a team with that kind of storyline and like building and all that shit ruins a game purely based on bugs.
I'm going to be honest. I'm a bit savage about the whole bug scenario in a bit, because I'm like, firstly, PCMR, like, don't play on a fucking console, bro. Like, I'm sorry if you're a console player, but like, I mean, come on, it's a next-gen AAA game, and you're trying to launch it on PS4. Yes, they should have optimized it. Yes, they should have launched it properly, right? But I didn't have a single bug on my PC run, so like, cry me.
Oh, really?
Like, cry me a river. Just play it on a PC. Like, I don't get it.
I played for like 10 minutes. I had to refund it purely because I was like, this is literally unplayable.
Where did you play?
And I don't think.
Oh, you play on console, right?
PS4, baby. I have no fucking computer.
Unplayable on PS4.
Literally,
it's so trash on PS4, bro.
It ruined the whole game before you even literally got started into the storyline, which is so heartbreaking because you know there's so much.
I've done a couple of not streams, like I just shown Ray and stuff, you know, the War 2077. And to be honest, most recently when they patched it, that's when it broke the game for me. But the whole first run of I bought it on day one, right? Obviously, I had it on day one, and I clocked it on day 2, right? I think I played like 40 hours straight or some shit. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, it was so good because I didn't have a single bug that ruined the game for me. I had some bugs that was like crack up, but like it wasn't any game breaking bugs.
No, for sure.
And I don't know, for me, it didn't. How do I say this? It's definitely not their best work because their best work is Witcher 3, but it didn't deserve the kind of hate it got to the point where these guys lost billions of dollars in like shares, money, and all that shit. It was a good game. It was genuinely a good game. Is it a 10 out of 10? Probably not. Did they need Keanu Reeves in that? Probably not. Could it be an 8 or 9 out of 10? Yeah, absolutely. It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's a really good game. I've clocked it 3 times. I've done the 100% run, and I enjoyed it. The storylines, the side quests, everything is good. There's nothing about it I hate, to be honest. Apart from the optimization.
True. Hey, before we get too far away, so if I want to get into Witcher again, do you play it on like mouse and keyboard, or do you play a controller?
I hate controller playing. So I mouse and keyboard most of the time.
I'm the other way around. I think console is better if like a controller feels way more like immersive than a.
No, I can understand that because of the movement of Witcher 3. Keyboard is definitely not as fluid. I don't like controller not because of the controller. It's nothing to do with the controller. It's a personal preference. I don't like controller because I don't like having to recharge it and like plug it in and have all this stuff. Like my keyboard and mouse are already all set up. They're all done. When I'm playing a controller on PC, I literally have an extra cable running out, and all. I can't deal with it.
But if you had like an infinite battery controller, would you play Witcher with a controller, or would you play mouse and keyboard?
I would play on controller. It's actually more. I would say easier. Probably like to dodge, to play, the fluidity of movement, the way you can like swivel your analog stick. Is it called analog stick? Your analog stick around and like do stuff. Definitely, yeah. And it's not that many skills you need because there's like probably like 5 skills.
Exactly.
No, actually, there's like 1 really.
Legit, because I was going to say it's not like World of Warcraft where you need like 34 key bindings to play the fucking game. It's like it genuinely like I know it's annoying to you because you have to pop up the menu to like heal and stuff, but it's also where the alchemy comes into play and you like pop these potions and shit. So it's like you do it from the start, and when you actually play the game, you don't actually have to worry about any key bindings or anything like that.
Yeah, and dodging's easier on controller, 100% easier because it's like swiveling, it's a lot easier. And dodging is hard to get. That's why I'm like, what's healing? Because literally, it's like it's Dark Souls-esque in a way where you want to dodge rather than you want to heal. If that makes sense. You don't want to get hit. You never want to get hit. Especially if you're playing at the hardest difficulty, right? You never ever want to get hit because you don't heal as fast, and I can't remember. Like the hardest difficulty is like really like real.
One-hit KO kind of thing.
It's like you can't heal on the fly or something, or I can't remember how it goes. I think sleeping doesn't heal you, so you have to like craft potions to heal yourself.
Literally,
hide and it's crazy. It's crazy.
That's pretty crazy.
Well, like, it is. I actually do have a fair few friends that played Witcher 3, didn't like it purely because it was on PC. And the moment like they switched over to console to try it, whole different experience. Yeah, genuinely.
Because of controller. I would say
keyboard
is probably a bit jankier than controller. Definitely,
it's too clunky.
Definitely.
Okay. I'll give it.
If you want to. Yeah, if you want to give it a go, I'll lend you my PS4, my guy. Give it
nah, bro, just put a controller into your computer.
I have a controller, I can just plug it in.
Why are you playing on PS4 graphics, man? What is that?
All right, I'll go fuck myself. Jesus.
Did you play the entire Witcher 3, or did you just play the first? Did you play like Blood and Stone? Did you?
Play Blood and Wine? Yeah, I played Blood and Stone, and I played. I think. I didn't finish Blood and Wine. Yeah,
Blood and Wine is one of my favorite because of the way they ended it. They tied it up really nicely.
Exactly. I have a lot of friends that said like you should really finish Blood and Wine. I think I just I dropped the game and then I didn't really go back.
It's hard to get back into it. I do agree with that.
Unfortunately, I didn't. But like Witcher 3, we can literally go on for hours because it's such.
Oh, absolutely. So we should probably move on.
Okay. Let's see, Dragon Age. So I know when Inquisition came out during uni, you could not stop talking about it because you were so hyped. You love Dragon Age. You were like, "Fuck, let's get it."
Okay,
and
let me
I
put
don't
things in
think you enjoyed it as much.
I bought the PS4 to play the AI. I had a PS3. I have 2 versions. I have the PS3 version of the AI, which I didn't like because it wasn't optimized well and it was like very clunky. And I just didn't like it.
Usual shit.
And so then I bought a PS4 and the PS4 version of the AI just to play the AI. That's how much I love Dragon Age, and that's how much I love Dragon Age Inquisition. Dragon Age Inquisition is really strong, don't get me wrong, but it's very long at some points, and I don't like that. I like Dragon Age 2, story, pacing, everything perfect. Bang on. For its age as well, the graphics, playable.
Unreal.
Unreal.
But
Yeah, it's
because
good.
like I think Dragon Age it's quite how do I say this? It's so many options, right? It's not like a basic. Oh, I'm warrior. I'm archer. There's like all the races and stuff that play into.
Yeah,
that
definitely.
come into it as well, right? Yeah.
I mean, for people who don't know, Dragon Age and Mass Effect have the same creators, right? BioWare. And so you can expect the same kind of thing. Very strong story, very strong character development, and very strong decision making abilities in the game where it impacts the next game. The only thing I would say as to why Mass Effect is stronger than DA series is because the Dragon Age series doesn't really have the same hero throughout. So you have your Warden in the first
Okay.
one, you have Hawk in the second one, and then you have your Inquisitor in the third one. They're all different characters. They play cameos in each of them. So like in DA2, characters from DA1 appear, and in DA3, characters from DA1 and 2 appear. And you're like, oh my god, hi, but it's not the same. It's not your same Shepard. You know, it's not your same Commander Shepard who's leading you through. Not your same like Tally and all that.
Alternate universe kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's medieval, or fantasy, right? It's medieval fantasy. So you know your magic dragons, obviously dragons and swords, arrows and stuff.
Right.
Races do matter, especially in DAI. You start to get different interactions and stuff, but not as good as Witcher 3, how they did the whole racism thing against elves and all that. That was amazing, Witcher 3. I don't want to touch on that anymore, but yeah, DAI has that. It's just not as strong. DA2.
Does it mean like
really
if you? I'm just assuming that when you do a character creation, you can choose a race and that affects the story. Is that what you mean?
Yes. So in DA1, even from DA1 onwards, how you create your character and your race affects where you start from. Affects whether you're
starting town.
Yeah, you're starting town. Not even starting town. You're starting entire story, like the starting origin story of where you start and where you end up and stuff, and how
I'm
you
assuming
interact.
Kind of like everyone funnels down to the same path, or
yeah, same path, same decisions, but your decisions obviously affect your decisions later, affect DA2, DAI. It's I have nothing bad to say about Dragon Age series in general. If you like Mass Effect, you should like Dragon Age. If you like the whole decision making BioWare aspect of it, you will like it. It's a good game. There's nothing like bad I can say about it. It's not a game where I can sell it very strong because it is hard to get into. I would say, for everyone, especially DA1. Yeah, DA1's hard to get into because it's very old.
It's not like your classic, like you just jump into it because it's so.
Oh, there's a massive wall. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot of research into it and shit. Yeah.
It's something. But if you like RPGs, you'll be into it. If you don't, then you'll never get into it.
Because like out of your 3x3, you're clearly into your RPGs with the
oh hell yeah,
very strong RPG presence.
Half of these in here are RPGs. The other half are like shooters. Well, not half. Sorry, 80% is RPGs. Yeah.
So with New Vegas, why did you pick New Vegas and not like Fallout 3 or any of the huge fanboy ones?
Fallout 1 and 2 are very different, right? They're like top-down Diablo kind of style games. So I won't go into them. They're fun, but they're not the same. Fallout 3, FO3, I liked, but I don't know. I felt like story-wise it was okay, and I just like how the whole story was geared towards like, do we activate a transformer? Like literally, that was Fallout 3, right? And I didn't like the whole green tint to it, which is stupid because Fallout New Vegas is an orange tint. I just traded green for orange, but I don't know. Something about 3 I don't like as much as Vegas.
Fair enough.
4 I played as well. 4 is really good. Graphics amazing. Story weak. Ish. Okay.
Oh,
story's
really?
Okay. Story's okay. Gameplay wise, it's a shooter. Nothing I can hate about that. Very Fallout. Very, very, very classic. Modability. Very easy to play. Very, very fun. That's what I think. But I like New Vegas because New Vegas is strong in terms of story. In terms of the OG story, just the base game, right, of New Vegas is so good on its own. It's like just so good on its own.
Because I know when Fallout 4 came out, it's like the classic, like the hype was there.
Yeah.
And when the game came out, it was good, and people weren't like complaining stuff. But I do have a couple of friends that said New Vegas was like had a special place in their hearts as well.
New
I always
Vegas
wondered
is
why.
by far one of the most fun because New Vegas has just this charm to it, right? Where you start it and like it's just so easily playable. It's so easily replayable, and there's so many routes. Even from the starting town, it's a true open world, right? Yeah. From the starting town, you can literally follow the main story, or you can just go off on your own and somehow end up at the main story again. Or you can not play the main story at all, but somehow you will still end up at the main story. You know what I mean? You can go off on the biggest
Yeah,
tangent,
yeah, yeah.
but it will always lead you back. There's,
Okay.
for example, I mean, it's not a spoiler because this game's so old, right?
Yeah.
There's the main story, but you can follow along and you find like, oh, what the Legion's doing is all fucked up and shit. But do you want to join the Legion? Do you want to join the good guys, which is the NPR? I think they're called.
Yeah.
I think they call NPR. And then there's also the route where, like, what I play is like the route where I do a stealth boy and I run straight to the town of New Vegas itself, the strip where there's the casinos and stuff. I spec myself out to be high luck. I gamble hardcore at blackjack and win and get kicked out of all the casinos because I've maxed out my money. And then I go buy all the implants and then I start the game with maxed out stats.
That's
I
so
literally
fucking Gaius.
start the game as a god already, right? And I'm just like, lol, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do against me, man? I can literally just one shot everyone, right? And so that's how I play the game.
That's
And
crazy.
so there's that. But then I've run it through every scenario possible in New Vegas. I've run it through the Legion line. I've run it through the Mr. House line. Is it Mr. House? Yeah, I think it's Mr. House.
the
And I've
house.
run it through the house line, and I've run it through the NPR line. My favorite line is the house line, but as you play the game, you start the game and you always want to play the good guys. Right? I don't know about you. I play the good guys. I like the NPR makes the sense. They're not the DJs, right? They're not like the ones torturing people and shit. And then I discovered the Mr. House line where you become the god of the universe, and I'm like, that's appealing. And then I play the Legion line, and the Legion line is so good. Like, people don't understand that, or they probably understand, but like it's more than just about the degeneracy of it. The world of New Vegas is degenerates, right? But these guys are like the pinnacle of it, and they just, I don't know, there's something about their like insanity that's so appealing, because in a dystopian world, of course you're gonna have a faction that's batshit crazy. You know, of course you are. Like, and that's good writing. For me, it's the NPR line that doesn't make sense. Like, who in this world of like rape, murder, pillaging, like, you know, just straight up death and everywhere, right? It's going to be like, we want to protect the citizens. Like, who does that, right? The Legion line makes the most sense to me, and it's, for me, is the most
logically.
it's the most
sense.
it makes sense. It's like, okay, right? And so that's why I like it, because no matter what line it is, I have fun. I play it well. The factions are so strong. The storylines are so fun. And then you introduce the DLCs, and they're like, oh my god, the DLCs, each one of them slaps, bro. All of them. Perfect game.
This is where
New Vegas is
this
so
is
good.
where I think like, actually, I don't know if it's an unpopular opinion, but where hype actually kills games, because it's like, I think personally, when you pick up a game and you have no idea about it and not like no fucking clue, like fucking Witcher 3 and shit. I heard friends talking about it, I'd be like, yeah, whatever. But when there's no hype behind a game, like New Vegas, Witcher 3, the whole shebang, it just changes your whole experience. And it's
absolutely.
a way better fucking game.
It's sad because you go in with zero expectations rather than 100. You know, like you go in with zero,
exactly,
and it hits you at like 98, and you're like, oh my god, this is so
and
good.
It just changes the whole experience, doesn't it?
When I picked up, because Fallout was almost like an off-spin of the Fallout series, right? New Vegas is literally why I went in with. I was like, it's made by Obsidian and not Bethesda. I'm pretty sure that's how it works, right? And I was like, I don't expect much of it, and it slapped, bro. It destroyed FO3 in my head. Like, it just took its place as top tier four times, and the DLCs, each one of them are so individually strong and so good that I'm genuinely like, okay, I don't hate this at all. It's so good. Like, there's nothing I can say about New Vegas which is bad. I generally can't say a single thing about New Vegas which is bad. Like, it's just a perfect game for me. It's probably my second, like, it's hard for me to assign 10 out of 10s, but I would say New Vegas and all its DLCs, probably a solid 10 out of 10.
Shit.
Same with Witcher 3. Not as good as Witcher 3. Witcher 3 is like high tier 10 out of 10, but New Vegas is very strong, man. Like, New Vegas is just so good. As a sandbox open world RPG, perfect gameplay.
Like, ticks all the boxes. Yeah,
it's just really good.
So,
it's just really good.
Let's see here. So Apex, there's no fucking need to ask about Apex. You're just a fucking nerd who's just fanboying Apex.
Bro, I can't stop playing Apex. It's so bad. It's so bad.
To be fair, I've been rewatching. I've been watching like a lot of clips and shit on YouTube and stuff, and I'm getting hyped to play it without.
And like, when you get back, we're hashtagging Road to Predator. I don't give a shit. We're going for Pred, bro. We're going straight for the Pred.
Can't fucking wait. So the last, obviously. Yeah. We leave the best for last. Now, talk to me about your fucking weeb choice here.
Katawa Shoujo. Same as Raymond. Like, it's such a good VN, and I added it in here because it introduced me to VNs, right? But in general, I never really played VNs, and now I love VNs, right? I literally I literally fund some or not fund go fund. What was that thing called? The crowdsourcing website.
GoFundMe.
Is it GoFundMe or is it the
It's a
other one?
GoFundMe.
Yeah,
There's
GoFundMe.
like a thing.
Or
there's a
Kickstarter.
few- Yeah,
Kickstarter. I've kickstarted a few of the VNs because I love them. They're so good. Like if it's a good
Oh,
story,
you committed.
I'm
Yeah.
fucking committed, bro. You're gonna weeb, bro. Like you don't mess around, right? You don't fuck around with that shit. So no, I love VNs, and I just like the story and how strong they can make it. Just like that, it's easy. Like you know me. I love RPGs, therefore I love the storylines of things, right? So for me, to have a game where I don't have to worry about shit gameplay, like shitty mechanics that ruins the game, and just have a strong story and a strong character development, and have my choices where decisions are so important in RPGs and I love them. Those three things, it's like, I mean, what more can I ask for? I don't even worry about some shitty like bug breaking game like that just ruins my entire experience. It's a no brainer. So yeah, of course I love Katawa.
So now that both of us recommend it, you have to play it too.
No
You
way.
have
feel
to
like I
play
have
it
to.
too. Yeah, you have to play it.
Honestly, for
Emmy
fuck's sake,
best
so I'll
girl.
give it
There's no way Emmy's not best girl. But
Yeah.
I'll give it
come
a
on.
go and see what happens. But I bet you I'm gonna be like, you're gonna
If your partner catches you playing it, just say it's
this?
porn.
Yeah,
Just say it's porn.
just play.
If your girlfriend catches you playing it, just say it's porn, bro. There's
Yeah.
H scenes in there, so like yeah, just say it's porn.
Yeah.
Do you have any obviously bonus?
Oh, bro, I can't.
games that didn't make
I
it?
have so many that I can't. I don't
I
even
know
what
exactly
it
what you mean.
is.
But surely
I mean,
there must be
Hades
one
we
that comes
talked
to your mind.
about. Hades, I
Yeah.
have to mention. You know, I already did mention that should be in there.
Yeah.
It's just bro, Hades is so good. Like it's just so good. In fact, before Katawa, I recommend you play Hades. I don't think anyone has not loved Hades. Any genres players, like competitive, RPGs, whatever, they love Hades. It's just so easily playable. And
That's
it's
the
just
thing. Like
so
if
good.
you can release a game that gets people that don't even play fucking games to love it, you know you've
Oh, it's
done
just
it.
so
made it.
good. It's
Made
just
it.
so good. I mean, I also have to mention, you know, the MGS series. Love it. Love MGS.
yes, sir.
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
It's just so strong. I think you might have this on this, but I'm going to mention it anyway. The Warhammer series. Oh my god. Dawn of War. Holy shit. I don't want to get into it because we could talk about that for hours. We probably should talk about it in your segment, but Dawn of War series, come on, man. That is one of the best RTSs
I'm
of all
so
time.
sad. I forgot
You
about
forgot
Dawn
about
of
that,
War, man.
didn't
That's-
you? You forgot about
Oh,
that.
that's you talk about replayability. That's the only game I go back to other than like
Yeah,
StarCraft
it's so
shit where I
fun.
replayed.
It's so
Oh
fun.
my goodness.
Warhammer is so good. All right, T, hit
It's-
us with your 3x3, my boy.
Yeah.
Hit us.
Here
Oh,
we go.
baby.
Here we go.
Yeah, we forget. Okay, wait. Give me a quick drum roll. Come on, give me a little.
I'm calling these shitty dummy games. Let's get it. I'm kidding. Let's go.
All right, let me see. Hang on.
Ooh.
Here we
go.
Okay.
So we go for a
Okay.
mix of classics,
my
a mix of
God.
what the fuck, a mix of who is here.
Thillak.
I actually. This
All
is
right,
my
my
fourth.
opinion of you has increased by about 50% right now.
This
I
is
like
my
you
fourth.
50% more.
This is my fourth 3x3. Literally, I've had to like change it out and be like, no, actually,
Bro, you
better.
smashed it. Oh my god, this is a hell of a 3x3. I'm actually so impressed. I
All
thought
right,
you.
all right. So we go.
Honestly, I
No.
mean, before you go into it, I actually thought you would have League on here and all the like,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the big, but you didn't. And all these games are headed. Well, one of them shit, but like,
I
they're
know.
all
I
headed.
skipped.
Let's run through.
the
Let's
classics.
Let's go.
Because, of course, we're starting from the top best, the fucking El Clasico, God of War. This shit, PS2, grew up with it, played all of it. This actually has elements of puzzles, which I never experienced in a game before. Like how you said, in your fucking Puzzle Pirates, Gaius,
Yeah.
that like. It's like halfway through the game, you're just like, how the fuck do I do this? And I've always gotten stuck in puzzles in God of War because it's not.
If you played
easy,
Puzzle
man.
Pirates, you wouldn't be stuck, man. Just saying. Okay.
So we got God of War, and then the next up is Ratchet and Clank.
Oh my
Surely
God.
this
Oh.
game.
Yes.
Holy, that's
Which one
insane.
did you start? I'll let you go. Finish it first. Finish your.
This the PS2 Ratchet and Clank. Like,
Yes.
how good is a game that they have to remake it like 3 or 4 times per fucking console?
My god.
Okay. And then Sly Cooper. This is an underrated fucking
Nah.
baddie. I think.
Yes.
I'm clapping.
loads
You
of
can't hear
people
because
don't-
of the mic, but like I'm clapping right now, man. I'm so impressed. I'm actually so impressed. From a guy who like has the worst taste in anime possible, this is the best taste in gaming I've ever seen. It's so good. I'm crying, man.
This is why he's our gamer.
It's our gamer,
This
bro.
is
This is
yeah.
amazing.
I'm a fucking gamer, baby. And then obviously we got Assassin's Creed, but
Yeah,
just
yes.
the Ezio fucking
Yes.
just the Ezio
Yeah.
star.
Yes,
Yeah, just
amazing.
his storyline. And then middle,
Hollow Knight.
this I
Come
picked up while I was in
on.
London, is Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
This-
I've
my
seen
first
it. I
indie
haven't
game I
played.
ever
Yeah.
played.
You are
My first ever indie game,
right.
and I've
You
never
are
been
so
struck by this kind of game ever. I was just like, this is not. I'm not going to enjoy this. Whatever. I'll give it a go. Pulled an
it's
all-nighter
so
to
good,
finish it.
right?
And then, of course, the classic Last of Us, which you are going to shit on 101. But this is the first one. This is the first one. So
Yeah.
a lot of people will at least back me on this. The first
Yeah, a lot
one. They're
of people
making a
will back
fucking HBO TV series on it, right? So get fucked.
Yeah,
Um,
because it's so Anyway, please continue.
and then Dead Space. This one is another
Yeah,
one that not many people
slaps.
expect.
Nah, that's
Dead Space is
slaps,
fucking
bro.
fire.
You are
I will go
right.
into it. And then Mario
This one I didn't
Kart.
expect. I did not expect this one. I'm gonna be honest.
This one was actually pretty low key for me as well. I didn't really fucking vibe it until Switch, even like Nintendo Switch Mario Kart. Fucking
Right, of
slaps
course,
galore.
of course.
And then
And
The Witcher,
Witcher.
of course, Witcher 3.
I didn't know you played Witcher 3, T. I'm gonna be honest. I thought you didn't play Witcher 3. That's why
Nah,
I'm
I
surprised
smashed it.
It's so good.
I
Right?
think I was one of those people where I started it on computer, didn't like how clunky it felt, and then played it while I was here on console.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Unbelievably good.
Unbelievably good. I've read
Unbelievably
all
good.
the man. I'm nerding to Witcher 3 because I've read all the books and everything. I fucking love.
Yeah. I think that
far.
it was the kind of game where I started like delving into this and then found
Yeah.
out it was like Polish, looked into the
Because
fucking
it's so
author.
interesting and the lore is just it's just so good.
It's huge, isn't it? It's like a huge fucking game.
Let's not get back into Witcher 3.
Yeah.
I want to talk. Actually, no. Firstly, I want to mention Hollow Knight. Like when I saw that, I'm like, this guy is cultured as hell. Hollow Knight is so
Good
good.
choice. Good
Like, I
choice.
actually was gonna put it on there, but I was like, surely one of you three will have it because it's just so good. Like it's one of the best indie games I've ever played, apart from Hades. It's so good. It's just so good. I don't know what to say about it.
It's like what I said, right? When there's no hype behind a game,
Yeah,
you pick it
yeah.
up and then you
You
fucking
think it's gonna
play
be
it.
shit basically, and it's like anything.
Yeah. Because like it's indie game as well, and it's like a 2D platform kind of game. So I'm like, I've never really played it. Not really a huge fan of that shit. Always wanted to play like Ori and the Blind Forest, and I was like, fuck it, I'll give this a go. And holy fuck, man, the game actually pulled my fucking heartstrings a bit. I was
It's
like,
so
holy shit,
good,
this is
right?
not what I
Like-
expected.
Like, I actually like died a little.
Yeah, like genuinely, man. I was like,
I
holy
don't want to
shit,
spoil
like,
it because it's still very new to a lot of people, so I don't want
This
to
is
spoil it.
what
But
I'm
yeah,
saying.
I know.
I really want to go into it, but obviously it is still a relatively new game, so I don't want to like go straight.
Yeah. Let's
all
just
the
say
spoilers
for our
there.
listeners, play Hollow Knight. It's not even that expensive. Support your indie
Yeah.
gamers like Square Enix. I mean, sorry,
Yeah.
not Square Enix, but
EA games.
support your indie developers. It is an excellent game.
Yeah, like genuinely, like coming from a person who has never played an indie game, who sticks to like his shooters and all that shit.
Mm.
This blew me out of
No,
it. Like
absolutely.
it blew it out of the park. Honestly, like all of the shit, like the storyline, the gameplay. I've never played a game where there's just one sitting. It's like
Yeah.
there's no like hard, easy, medium. It's fucking.
Let's just play. Let's just play. You know, it's
I've
no-brainer.
never played a fucking game where it's leading up to a boss and I've died at least 100 times
Yeah.
at the boss and you just
Indie-
keep
indie
going
games
because you
is-
want to
yeah,
fucking kill yourself.
It's so good, man. It's just so good. I don't know what more
It's
to say about
genuinely,
it. Have you played Hollow Knight?
and I
Ray?
think it's also
No, I haven't.
Oh, bro, you should. It's so good as a game. It's not even that
It's-
long.
it's
Is it? Like
genuinely-
what?
yeah, no. You so like it's the same thing. It's the same thing where you can do choices, right? And your choices
Yeah.
dictate what kind of ending you get.
Right.
But it is literally a quick game, like 10 to 20 hours. I reckon you can do it.
Yeah,
20 hours, like if you wanted to smash it all out, it's
Yeah.
possible.
Right.
But always it comes down to how many fucking times you die. If you die 1 billion times,
Yeah.
Oh fuck! I think there's one of the nights where I was playing it for so long. I think like 6 hours on one fucking level, and I was like, "Fuck this shit." Went to sleep, woke up, smashed it my first run.
Yeah,
The next
yeah.
night.
It be like that
happens.
sometimes. It
Yeah.
does be like
Yeah,
that.
it's one of those
Some of
fucking
those
games. So
things.
yeah, Hollow
Okay.
Knight, fucking 10 out of 10. Definitely really
let's-
good.
Okay, let's get back to it. God of War. I mean, we've argued about this
I
so
know-
many times, T.
I
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
I
you know
know,
what I'm
you're
gonna
not a
say.
huge
You know
fan.
what I'm gonna say. I prefer the DMC series any day to God of War.
Disgusting.
I
You
understand.
disgust me, man.
I understand the hype behind the God of War thing, but what I don't like is when games take the Greek mythology, right, and don't really change it much. They just like
They didn't.
all right,
Yeah.
let's just play this. You know what I mean? Like with Hades, it's different. Hades writes a different kind of storyline to the original OG Greek mythology. But then you see the characters you love. You see your Zeus, your Poseidon, blah blah blah, whatever. In Geodub, I felt like the whole thing about it was like, all right, I'm Kratos. Look at me, I'm a bold badass motherfucker, and I'm gonna be the new God of War. Guess who I'm gonna fight? Oh, Ares, surprise!
You're
Athena,
surprise.
surprise!
No.
I mean? And it's like
I think it's the nerdy aspect of Greek mythology, and it's sticking to its roots because it's like it's Athena, Zeus, Ares. You know, it's all consistent. You know what it is, and it's like Kratos obviously isn't a real Greek like part of the Greek mythology, but like I think it's the whole shebang of
you can
God of
fight
War
Zeus
1, 2,
and
3.
shit. Yeah.
It's you just start to fantasize about it. You start from the PS2, and my brother and I used to play this in the living room with my mum watching, being like, fuck him up. Like genuinely, it was that kind of game where it's like
love Mama Naidu. Shout out Mama Naidu, love you.
it started
So
off as a
good.
hack slasher kind of game, bro. But genuinely, as the games kept going,
absolutely.
it just kept getting better and better and better, up to the point where now, like the most recent one on PS4, it actually blew my fucking mind, man. Like I didn't think it could get better and better.
That's what I hate. So they just move from like the classic Greek mythology to Norseman mythology. It's like how original, bro. Like I don't care. Like, write a story that's original, and there's a boy in it.
Gives a
And he just says boy 50 times.
I'm
and
gonna
it's so
fucking kill you.
stupid.
I'm literally gonna knock you out the next time I see it. It plays on the original mythology because it wants you to live and understand. Like I learned so much more about Greek and Norse mythology.
Educational gaming, bro. Like I don't.
Games teach you a lot.
That's
Of
right.
Man is molding.
No.
I can
Hear me out. What I don't like
I can feel
is
your
when,
blood pressure.
I just don't like how they literally went the classic Greek to, oh shit, okay, Greek mythology, really popular, guys. Let's get in the boardroom. What else is popular? Oh, Vikings. People like Vikings, right? All right, Northern mythology. Like what, bro? Like, oh, guess he's gonna fight Odin now. Oh, surprise, bro. Oh, is there Zeus? Is there Thor in it? Oh my god, God of Thunder? You know, like, it's like, but then
You're just a fucking hater.
No, it's not that. I just think DMC is better. I just genuinely think DMC is better.
So basically, a lot of listeners would probably know Gaius is just an antagonist at this point. He just hates
I'm not an antagonist. I just don't like that they do nothing for the story.
Dude, if you play the most recent one, I think it's probably one of my most favorite games, like top one, because consistently storyline, goosebumps, foreshadowing, you fucking name it. This game's got it. It's got fucking skill trees. It's got the whole shebang.
Yeah, okay. I can accept that the game. Okay, no, wait. Hear me out. I like the gameplay. I think the gameplay is amazing. Like, it's really good gameplay. The fight, insane. You know, the mechanics really smooth, smoother than DMC. I would say the fights in God of War are better than DMC. DMC is very mechanically like you gotta just be good. Like, just don't be shit at DMC and you'll be good, right? God of War, you can't. How do I say this? God of War is easier to get into. DMC, there's a huge barrier, bro. Like, if you're just a shit player, you're gonna get shed on all the time in DMC.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? But with God of War, it's so easy to get into, and then there's that skill ceiling. Like, you slowly progress up, and you get better and better, and then you become like God tier player. I love that about God of War. I love the thing. What I don't like, and it's so important to me, is like, you talk about like the story so strong and stuff. All they did was copy pasta mythology. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Okay, they added a bit in it here and there, but it's nothing that I couldn't be like, okay, this is gonna happen, that's gonna happen, this is gonna happen.
Did you play the most recent one, the Norse mythology?
I played a little. I played at the start, so I finished 1, 2, 3. Obviously, I haven't played. I haven't finished it because I couldn't, because it was shit.
Not talking to you anymore. Basically, any opinion you have now is null and void. They literally, I don't even care that it's going to be a bit of a spoiler, but they literally kick you off into the game with no information. You're suddenly in a fucking Norse island. You're like, oh, this shit. He's got an axe. This fucking axe comes back on command. He's basically Thor with an axe. How fucking sick is that?
How fucking surprising is that? Oh my god, he's got an axe and a Viking land that comes back on command. Like, wow. How original, bro. Like, come on.
The storyline starts off with you literally burying your wife. You're like, who the fuck? How does he get a wife? Who the fuck? Is this his kid? All these questions. You're like, how the fuck did he get into this? It just... Oh man, I'm like having fucking pre-cum in my it's just it gets to a point where he literally has to face his past and pull out his chains and shit because he has to save his kid from hell. Bro, don't even at me with this. This is by far the best game in the fucking world.
Oh my god, you're so
I can't
wrong.
just-
Okay, I can accept the difference in opinion. I can accept that. I can't accept. I will never love it, but I understand that people do. Let's move on to
Hang on, wait.
Slap.
Before we move on,
Oh yeah,
Ray, have you played God of War?
I don't.
I played. Was it 3? But I haven't played new ones. I've seen
It's
videos
alright,
of it.
Ray.
It looks badass, but like I haven't played it.
Thank you. That's all you need to know. Okay, fantastic. Now we move on to Ratchet and Clank. Okay.
I mean, I would actually group Ratchet and Clank and Sly Cooper together. They're almost competitors of each other, right?
I
Like,
would actually, you're so right. Yeah. They were released in the same sort of era, weren't
I'm
they?
surprised you played both because most of my friends either play one or the other, right? Me, I'm the idiot. Like I didn't play either. I played
You did.
Spyro. I was the Spyro guy, the
Look at
one
this
like
nerd.
kid who has like no friends in the class because they play either of these. I'm just like, anyone play Spyro with the little dragon who flies around? That was me, right? And so, but everyone who's ever played this is one or the other, and they swear by either or. They like
Literally,
they fight each other.
yeah. I was never like elitist enough to be like, oh, I can only pick one. I literally played both, and I love both unbelievably much. Like Sly Cooper, storyline, character development, the fucking banter in the game is unmatched.
Yes.
I don't think I've ever played a game like that where between all three of them, there's like 3 main characters, obviously, and they like have this bouncing banter between all of them. It's
Top
so good.
Unbelievable.
You shut your hole, man.
Unbelievable.
And then, well, Ratchet and Clank, to be fair, like, I think everyone's heard of Ratchet and Clank. There's a fucking movie on it. There's fucking 3 remakes on it. There's like PS5 reveal was with the Ratchet and Clank game. Like, it's basically, if you think of PlayStation, you think of Ratchet and Clank, don't you?
I agree.
It just goes hand in hand.
It's just so classic to the.
It's
what
exactly
made it. Actually, I would argue.
Yeah.
It's one of the games that made exclusivity so important.
Exactly, yeah, 100%. I think this made a lot of people bend towards PlayStation a bit more because of how exclusive it was. It was like Halo with Xbox was Ratchet and Clank for PS4, wasn't it? Or PlayStation.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I 100% agree with that. I 100% agree with that.
The only thing that I nearly didn't add it on for was purely the amount of fucking games that kept releasing on it, that kept expanding the universe.
I do agree. I don't like it when people milk a series and when it's like nothing that adds on to it, which is why
it was shit.
We'll talk about this in literally the next game, which is why it's so important. Like, if you're gonna make a game, right, remastering and stuff for a very like 20-year-old game, okay, I can live with that, right?
Yeah.
But when you're doing it, Skyrim, that's why I can't stand Skyrim anymore. There's Skyrim Special Edition, there's Skyrim like probably like remastered edition somewhere, and then now the Skyrim Ultimate Edition. I don't get it. Bro, firstly, it's not that good. I'm sorry, it just isn't. Right, but also, how many Skyrims do we need, bro? Like at this point, is Bethesda even going to release an ES6, or are they just going to go Skyrim and continue ESO, you know?
Obviously, Skyrim.
Like, it's just that's what I can't stand when people milk a series that hard. It's just like, oh man, whatever.
It did get really. I think PS3 especially got ridiculous with how many Ratchet and Clank's like games they made, and it got to a point where it was getting a bit stupid with where the storyline was going, and like Ratchet being like, what was he called? Yordle. I don't know what he.
I didn't follow after a while.
The species he was, Lombax or whatever the fuck. He was the only one in the whole universe, and then one of the games suddenly there's a fucking female Lombax. You're just like, what the fuck's going on here, you know? So that was the only bad thing I can really say about Ratchet and Clank. Out of everything I can think of, yeah.
All right.
What's next? I'm assuming I know exactly.
Assassin's Creed.
Shit on it.
Oh, shit on Ezio! Come on, I love the Assassin's Creed Ezio.
I thought you were gonna pull out Last of Us. Okay, we'll go through.
Ezio. No. We'll go Ezio out first. We'll save that. I'm gonna be molding very soon. The Ezio arc of Assassin's Creed is by far the best of the Assassin's Creed series. Fight me on it. I don't care. It is easily the best.
No way.
I don't think
argue. No one's gonna argue.
It is
literally. I don't think anyone will argue with how good it was.
I mean, you have like AC2, right? They introduced young Ezio. Amazing. Great. Then you have AC2 Brotherhood, right? Which is Ezio with his boy band. And then you have Revelations. Old Ezio.
Revelations.
And it's still so good. It is so
he's like fucking 80 years old and it was still unbelievable.
He slaps, bro. Good. He's 80 years old and wrecking Templars. It's so good. Like, there's nothing bad about the Ezio arc that I can say about it. Like, I mean, now that you replay graphics cards and shit, all that, but whatever. In terms of during its time, Assassin's Creed really hit its stride with that one. Then it went to shit. Then it went to shit.
Yeah.
You have AC3, which was by far the worst trash tier game I've ever played. Like it
I
was
can't
so
believe
bad.
my dumbass got so excited because obviously I was coming off the hype of the Ezio
AC2,
fucking
yeah.
arc. I pre-ordered AC3, got like the fucking collector's edition with the little figurine and stuff. Played the game and I was like, "What the fuck
What
is
is his
this
name
shit?"
again? Like
Genuinely.
whatever his name, Connor, right? I think his name was. Or whatever.
Connor, yeah.
And so AC3 was trash, man. Was straight trash. It was just so terrible. And then AC4 came out, Black Flag.
Black Flag was fucking
Black Flag
fire
was-
though.
Bro, Black Flag slapped so hard, bro. Black
It
Flag
was
was
it's always it's like I fucking said, man,
right,
it's the hype
because
that
3
kills
let us
this.
down so much. We had no expectation
Exactly.
for 4. And then I've played the Assassin's Creed I've played the most of is actually Black Flag. I played it so many times because it's so fun. Like it's just so good.
I think let's be real here. There's a theme with you. You just want to be a fucking pirate. I had Sky Pirates, I
Oh
had
my
Puzzle
god, you
Pirates,
might be right.
and now it's Black Flag. Like
You might be right about something, bro.
true.
You might be right. No, I just genuinely love Black Flag. I think I actually really like Pirates, so you're probably right.
Yeah,
But I
no,
really
agreed.
like it. The whole naval aspect of it was insane. Like you could, like it became an open world where you sailed around and you fought like the
They
forts
completely
and
mixed
shit,
it up.
remember? And then it was like all crazy.
Yeah.
You could like conquer lands and it would become yours and all that. It was so sick, bro. I loved it.
I genuinely nearly had it on here as well as the fucking Ezio
Oh,
collection.
bro,
I'm
no,
like,
I mean
that's
you
a
have to
bit too
mention
much.
both. I would say those two the strongest, and then came shit like
Yeah.
Unity and fucking like.
Unity
Yeah.
was
Oh,
not.
God.
Unity was
Ugh.
janky, bro.
I remember playing Unity.
Unity-
Do you remember T? We were really hyped about it. Actually, we were like, man, Black Flag
Yes,
slaps, but Unity
man.
would be good. And then I remember within the first like 5 minutes, it was like press square to slide under the table or X to jump over. I'm like, what? Why is this? This is no shit. What the hell? And then it would be like
Options,
press
baby.
square again to climb above this, or like X to slide under it. And I'm like, this is so fucking shit, man. Like instead of improving story, you like added like mechanics I don't need. You know, like it's man. no, terrible.
Yeah. Did you play Unity at all?
I played Unity with friends, but I got annoyed because I got stuck because of a bug. I got stuck in the story because of a bug, and I remember going like, "What the fuck's
I
going
heard
on?"
about that.
And then I had to I googled it, and they were like, "Yes, this is a bug that they're working to fix." I'm just like, "What the fuck?"
It's like unfixable.
After
like,
release, in the main story as well.
again.
Like, how do you fuck up the main story
Honestly.
bug?
This Unity actually was such the hype
It was such
once
a
again
letdown.
because Black
Yeah,
Flag,
the hype
Black
killed it.
Flag was so good.
Yeah.
The hype came on with Unity, and the Unity thing as well was that you could play
With
you
friends,
were like in
right?
a
Co-op.
boy band of 4 people.
Yeah.
You could play co-op with like 2 or 3 other friends.
And
It was
Imagine how
shit.
cool that
It was
was.
shit.
The concept is cool though. Concept is cool. Like imagine you and
Correct.
the boys being assassins, bro.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
Correct.
beast.
Exactly. Like imagine like being like,
Arno,
yo, guys,
Fidel,
okay, you
Arno.
take this guy, Ray, you take the guy behind the fucking door, I'll fucking slap this chick in the face. Like the idea of like the concept of it was so sick that 3 of my
Yeah.
friends, we all pre-ordered it, we all had the whole shebang. We're like, yo, day 1 of release, we'll all play together, like follow along the storyline
And
together.
depression struck
Yeah.
because it was one of the
And then
worst
literally,
AC ever.
Ray's bug happened to 2 of us. Not even joking. 2 out of 3 of us in the same fucking storyline got the bug, and we're like, what the fuck?
I mean, I
happens
don't blame
And-
them though. Ubisoft is pretty indie, so like you can kind of expect it from an indie developer. Like, can't blame them. Limited funds, you know. It's not like it's $1 billion franchise. So like, what can you say, T? You gotta give them some slack.
Give them a bit
bro,
of
you know?
slack.
Yeah, just
I
give them
literally
some
because
slack.
of that bug, I haven't fucking finished the game because I was like,
Oh
I'm not
no,
fucking
I
replaying
stopped the
this
game within the
bitch.
first like 10 minutes. I was like, this is so fucking
Oh
shit.
man,
It was just- I mean,
genuinely.
It was really janky. Arno was not likable at all. He was like a fucking
Yeah.
douchebag and like. But
Fucking look like a
I
pedo.
will say though, I actually think they brought it back a little with Odyssey and Origins.
They
Is it
changed the playstyle completely
Yeah,
though.
they
With
changed the playstyle. I
Origin
got
and
both.
Odyssey.
I have Origins and Odyssey, and I really enjoyed both. And then I didn't buy Valhalla. Is it Valhalla?
Valhalla.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't buy Valhalla because I don't like that whole. You know.
Valhalla was so
Yeah.
expensive, man.
Well, I
The-
just
the
don't
game
like when
by
they go for the
itself was
classic.
so
Like I said,
expensive.
it's the classic. They go from Greek mythology to Norseman mythology. The minute they did that, I was like, eh. But when they had Egyptian mythology, that was sick.
That was
That
interesting.
was
That
I didn't
was-
play it,
yeah.
but it looked interesting.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
sick. I
yeah,
loved it.
same.
Like Origins was amazing. It was
How
really
far
good.
did you guys get into Brotherhood? Like a real
Wait, Brotherhood?
like Brotherhood, the old one, really old one.
Oh, fucking.
Wait, is it
smashed it, my
Brotherhood
guy.
the second one?
It's
Yeah.
your. It's part of
It's
the.
your
It's
alt, right?
Yeah, it's your-
Yeah, I finished it. I finished all 3. It
Did-
was awesome.
Did you play the multiplayer?
No.
Oh,
I never played multiplayer.
you
of something.
did, man.
No.
Yo, no,
Yeah.
wait. Yo, Ray,
The
you're
multiplayer
bringing
was
back
really cool.
memories.
Did you-
Dude, yeah, it was fucking sick.
It was like the people were like pretending to be NPCs. I got really into it.
It's like
You know how
Spy Game.
you know how there
Yeah,
was
yeah.
rankings and stuff, and then you had a
Yeah,
grandmaster,
yeah.
like top 10% or top Like, granted, like not much
I
people was
definitely
playing.
remember. Yeah.
Not much people was playing back when I played, but I got up to like the Grandmaster rank.
Oh
Yeah.
shit!
You're disgusting.
Silver rank,
I-
silver rank. We
I
gamers, bro. We
remember-
gamers over here.
I remember that,
Well,
but there was
fuck
not
you,
much people
top
playing
leagues.
because I could only play during like I think there was a
Certain
certain time
hours.
of the day, like 1 to 3 was the only time you could find games because there was no one else playing at any other time.
Yeah.
But
I-
it got super crazy because it got to the point where like the whole point of it was like you have to act like an NPC so people don't suspect
Yeah.
you. And then like I remember
Literally.
because I had videos recording of my gameplay, and I'm looking at it now. I'm like, how did I know that was not the NPC? It was like you have to look at like really like out of sync nods and stuff.
It's actually
pretty
actually
cool,
fucking
actually. It's
crazy.
pretty cool.
Gaius, have you heard of that spy game where like you're at a dinner party and you have a sniper and you like gotta like play with your friend to figure out who's the fucking spy?
What is it called?
I've
No, I
seen
haven't.
it. I've seen it. But
I've just watched like Twitch.
Sounds like Among
yeah,
Us.
literally.
Yeah, it's basically think of Among Us, right? So it's like you have this fucking stage of like 50 people, and all you have is 8 people playing this game, pretending to be NPCs and 1 assassin's amongst
That's
you.
actually pretty cool.
And you
yeah.
literally, it's actually so sick, man. And you have all these like smoke bombs and stuff. I used to go over to my friend's house and we used to play together and like point out people that look fucking sus. And if you came too close, people would like smash out smoke bombs and all this shit to divert you.
yeah.
It was actually surprisingly really fucking fun, man.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. That actually sounds like a very like easy concept, but really fun. Endlessly
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
It's like the Mafia games, right? The card games that we used to play whenever
Yeah,
you joined.
yeah.
Those are crazy fun. They're always different, always fun. Like how you
Mm.
lie and all that shit. I can see that being really fun.
Literally that whole thing.
But that's
should
my
we-
memories of Assassin's
Should
Creed.
we?
What's next on the list?
Oh, I'm gearing up, man.
There we go. All right, should we mute guys for this one while
Okay.
I talk about it?
All right,
So
let's,
yeah,
all right,
it's
okay, let's
unfinished.
run through The Last of Us. Go, you start. You
Okay.
start.
I think if anyone's a gamer and they're watching this, they have this in a very, very, very special place in their heart. Last of Us, fucking zombies made sick. Like it's just everything from the storyline, the gameplay, the connections you have to the characters, the voice actors, the fact that it's getting remade into a HBO special series, and the actors they have for it as well is fucking big actors. So this game, albeit we won't talk about the second game, but the first game had all the concept of survival storyline. It sort of brought it all into one. Where I think this is the only game I've ever played where I've cried. I've literally bawled my eyes out playing this fucking game. Now, guys, tell me
look,
all about your fucking hatred.
I hate on Last of Us not because of the when I played it, right? Okay, so when I played was I think when it first released and I finished it. The character development was really strong. They definitely get you to care about the character. The graphics was, I mean, the graphics you don't really. There's nothing about it I can say, right? It was
It wasn't unreal.
PS3,
Yeah.
PS4, whatever. It doesn't matter. The character development was strong. The graphics was good. Mechanics was all right, I guess. It wasn't really amazing, but it wasn't really bad. So that's all fine. I just found the story super cliche. Like I just found it very like zombie story. Like there's nothing I'm expecting. Of course, I mean I don't want to spoil it. Of course, that person's gonna be the cure. Of course, her blood's the cure. Like wow, like obviously. And then I don't know, just everything about it to me was just okay. This is another zombie game. There's literally nothing about it that makes it like game of the year. Yes, I would say the character development. That part that you say you cried about, I get that 100%. That was amazingly written. But like the storyline of it was so weak because it was just genuinely going off the basis of this is a zombie game. Wow. Oh, this person is the cure. Wow. Okay.
Oh my God.
But you can't really blame them for that because for zombie games there's only so much arcs, right?
It's
Like,
right. I was just gonna fucking say,
but
man.
there's-
Wait.
that's
We
what-
need to remember. We need to remember. Gaius is an antagonist, bro. He's just
No,
he just hates himself.
How do you say that? But you can't say that because that's the genre that it has to be cliche, right? Like that's the whole point of a story that make it good.
No.
Right?
Before this, what game can you say that is a zombie game? Think of all the zombie games, Left 4 Dead, like all this
Okay,
other shit. Like
okay.
all the zombie games are just shooters, hack and slashes. There's no real storyline to them, right? Even fucking movies that come out with zombie movies, they're very cliche because they're very obvious, but they're also very predictable.
'cause
What
You kind
The
of
fuck are you talking about?
Well, this was
Yeah.
predictable too. I don't get it. Like this story was so predictable. Do you not think that?
But okay, I'm not even. This game came out like 8 years ago. I'm gonna spoil it. The start of the game fucking crushed people's hearts. The start of the game starts with the
How?
guy's daughter dying. My guy.
So,
Oh,
bro, it's a zombie game. Of course, people. What?
No, this game starts off. You look at the picture. It's a guy and a girl. You're like, oh, surely dad and daughter like.
No,
sort of
obviously,
vibes.
yeah.
It starts the game. You play as the girl for the first fucking 2 hours of the intro of the game.
Yeah.
She fucking dies, and you're just like, what the fuck? What's gonna happen?
You're like,
And then
okay,
it just
kid.
spirals you into this fucking game, bro. This is the most real world zombie game.
I will say it probably
existence.
launched like it's the strongest zombie game. I would say like definitely because like you said, most of them are just shooters. You know, you just go into like a 4v
Yeah.
4v PV, whatever kind of thing. So yeah, 100% agree. Like it's the strongest zombie game. But just because it's the strongest zombie game in a genre where there's not many good games doesn't make it the game of the year. Is what I'm trying to argue. It's not that it's a bad game. It's just that for the amount of awards is one. I'm like, are you serious?
so you're just
And then, like, for example, Tilo 2, right? I know Tilo 2 is shittier. Let's be honest. Tilo 2 was shit.
Yeah.
But it won over Hades? Are you serious, bro? And that's all hype. That's all money. The fact that they're a bigger company. And that's all hype. Like, that's literally it. The only reason we want GOTY. And that's why I keep arguing, like, yes, I'm not saying it's a shit game. I'm just saying that it's not like a GOTY game. It's the best game of its genre, which is a shit genre with no good games. You know, the horror genre, which we'll touch on later, is different.
You don't mind.
Really horror.
You don't mind the game. You just mad that they got like awards that you don't think it deserved.
Exactly.
Okay.
The game on its own, I have nothing against, bro. But I just don't think it's as strong as people. Bro, people say it like it's like the Knicks coming of Christ, bro. It's all right. It's all right. It's a good game.
I think
okay.
The best way to tackle this is to purely look at what you deem to be the best game.
Witcher
in your
3,
opinion,
best
right?
game,
Like,
10 out of 10. Does it stack
Yeah,
against
yeah,
Witcher 3? Probably not. Right?
I think it's because you're also looking at what you enjoy, right? You like variability, you like different options, you like different choices. Like you're a very role-playing kind of guy. So it's like when this game comes out and it's purely about enduring and surviving and what humanity genuinely would be after an apocalypse, I think storyline-wise,
Are you saying no? I think I hear what you're saying. I don't like this game because I can't have my god complex in it.
you can't stealth
that I
phase
break the world.
and come back with a rocket launcher and like fucking just blow these fuckers up.
You might be
So I
right, bro.
think-
You're probably right about that.
Genuinely, because you have to follow the storyline, and you being an antagonist that you fucking are, can't fucking deem away from the classic one storyline that there is, because there's no real options or choices in this game, right? It's not like whether you choose to leave a guy behind to die to the zombies or not. It's the same shit.
It follows like a
So-
linear storyline. Maybe that's what it is, like the linear play of it.
Exactly.
But I mean, that being said, you say that, right? And then we talk about your arc. That was a linear storyline, and I loved it. I just genuinely loved it. You talk about Dead Space, which we'll talk about later. I love Dead Space. I think it's an amazing game. I don't know. I just don't think it's as strong as people say. People talk about it like it's a 20 out of 10, bro. I'm saying it's like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Right. I shit on it, and like I say a lot, but I don't think it's game of the year 10 out of 10 is what I'm saying. You know what I mean?
talking
I can
both
see.
of them?
I can see. Like,
That bro, the
just
second one's
just
a 5
bro.
out of 10, man. Come on. The second one shouldn't be a game.
I didn't even touch number
Terrible.
2, bro. I saw it. I was like, nah.
Like, bro, you know it's a problem when Tilo 2 comes out, right? And like all the videos I watch, it's not like watch this amazing gameplay or this amazing story. It's like watch this guy play this song on this guitar. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I played Wonderwall in Tilo 2. I was like, well done, bro. Let me clap for that.
Excuse me. You strum the fucking guitar from your touchpad. Okay, I think that's sick.
Cool, bro.
That's an interesting concept. But
That's so interesting. You know, there's also
Okay, fair.
guitar playing.
So I think we figured out
IRL.
why. I think that's why we figured out why this game is such a highly rated game amongst obviously different people. But hey, man, we all get
I
our
mean,
own.
like I
opinions.
said, it's a 9 out of 10 for me, bro. I don't hate it. You know,
You're
like,
an antagonist. It's fine.
it's not that I don't hate it. I hate the hype about it. Like it's a 9 out of 10, which is a really high score, bro. Like it's not a 10 out of 10 for me, but I can see why people love it. I just don't think it deserved the amount of awards it won over the games that was out during its time, especially
I think,
Tilo
yeah.
2. Like Tilo 2 really irked me because
Yeah.
it was a
I-
clear
to be
case
fair,
of
I agree.
bias, a clear case of funding, and a clear case of like, oh, this is a AAA game. Hades isn't. Small indie developer doesn't deserve the win. Literally, that's all I saw, you know. And so
To be
that's
fair,
what
I think
annoyed me.
the second game, I agree. I actually still enjoyed the second game because I took it as what it was rather than a lot of people just fucking bandwagoning how shit it was.
Yeah.
But I I do think there were better games. Like Ghost of Tsushima definitely should have won like Game of the Year compared to it, right? Like that's actually a special mention that will come later on. But I completely agree. But luckily, we're talking about the first one, so suck a fuck, all right?
No, it's a franchise, bro. It's a franchise.
Right.
But yeah, okay. Dead Space.
What's
Come
the
on.
next
Dead
one?
Space is classic.
Oh,
So good.
oh.
Dead Space. Oh my fucking god. This is like
So hang on. Yeah, so you go first.
oh yeah, no, you go.
I was just gonna ask before you go into it. Do you like horror games or like thriller games?
So that's exactly what I was gonna say. So normally I'm a fucking pussy, right?
Yeah.
You give me Slenderman in a dark room, I'll tell you to fuck off.
No,
like
I
you
can't.
give me
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah.
what was it called? It starts with the A.
Amnesia.
Amnesia. Oh,
Yeah.
that cunty game, man. Nah, fuck that. Those are pure jump. Actually, this is also a jump scare.
Yeah.
But I think this is what I was gonna say. It's such a scary game that I actually enjoyed it so much I kept going. It's obviously still a shooter, so I was like, okay, I backed this already. But it's like the whole storyline about it, the randomness, like the way that you just chucked straight into it, into a storyline that you've no idea what's going on. You're in space, my guy. That already should be a fucking big tick.
Yeah.
I think it was I think initially when I played it, it's a high skill ceiling because it's like you don't really understand. Like you could be the classic beginner where you just shoot 100,000 times at a fucking alien and hope to kill it, or you strategically do it where you fucking shoot off its limbs and then you make it more vulnerable. So it's like that kind of shit as well made this game for me 10 out of 10 times better than what it probably could have been as well.
No, this Space was so good. Like it was the only horror game where I played maybe 2-3 of them like to completion because like I'm with you, T. I can't play horror games. It scares the living shit out of me. Especially jump scares one. I just can't, bro. I like my heart rate goes to like 500 and I like pass out all it. I played Fear and I played this. So Fear was good. Fear was okay. But this Space, I don't know, something about it. Like it's not just the fact that obviously the horror is a big element to it, right? But at the same time, I don't know about you. I felt like, okay, this is horror, but I can do something about it. You know what I mean? It's jump scare, but I'm going to shoot this guy in the face. I'm going to wreck this guy. Jump scare me then. I have a goddamn shotgun or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, come on, let's go. And then there were some scenes that were scary as shit. And I felt like, jump scares or rather most horror games, they work really heavily on the jump scares, right? They have like the music and then they have the boom in your face thing, right? Like the thing that just pops. There's the visual aspect. This Space, I think I can't remember which one it was. All I remember was there was that one scene in the room where it was just a sound cue, and it was the most scary part I've ever played. The one that was like a chainsaw grinding. Do you remember that? See, you're like in a room and it's just and you're like, I've
locked that out of my memories.
And the whole time you're like shitting yourself because you're like, what is that? And I think it was like a chainsaw, or it was like scraping. It was like a noise. It was just a noise. That was
it was like literally dragging,
right?
Yeah.
Yes, it was like dragging, and you were like, what is that? And it just got like louder and louder, and like there was just a sound cue. There wasn't even anything scary about the room, but you were shitting yourself. You were like, yeah, I'm gonna save right here and not move for like 5 minutes while I like recompose myself because this is terrifying, right? And so like
literally every normal human, they get that scared, they just drop the game, they fuck off. I literally would put down the game, go for a glass of water and come back into it. Like literally no hesitation.
Good. I actually 100% agree. This Space it's almost slept on. I don't think it's played as much as it should be. It's such a great game.
I think it was popular for a while,
It should be top 10 of all time in anyone's list.
Same, agreed. I think it had a little hype initially, especially Dead Space 3 and stuff. And I think it's such a good game, man. Like this progression, when you upgrade your suit, holy shit, you feel like
I will say though, if you really can't take horror, you really can't get into it. It is scary. It's fucking scary, bro. It's 100% scary.
I can't even say like once you get stronger, it gets less scary.
No,
that's a fucking lie and a half, man.
Terrifying. It's not even about the fact that you go and die. It's just a scary as shit game. It's so terrifying, bro.
I think every time I think about Dead Space now, I think of this one scene where you walk into a nursery.
The room of babies. The room of babies.
Oh god. And it's like you see all these cribs and you're like, oh, what the fuck's happening here? And these fucking little babies with claws come out of nowhere.
I'm actually like, Bro, I like got goosebumps from that shit. Like no,
I
shit,
got
had
goosebumps actually remembering that.
It's so fuck, that scene was so scary, bro. The minute I saw Cribs, I was like, it's over. Maybe
GG's,
like
GG's.
those demon things are always scary as shit, right? The minute I saw
Yeah.
Cribs, I'm like, GG's, boys. I'm
100%.
gonna drop this game right now, man. I'm terrified.
It just
And then they
it
appear and
added
you're
like an element.
oh,
It added like an element of realism, wasn't it? Because
it
like
was
obviously
so
there's fucking
scary.
babies.
Oh my god!
It was like, yeah.
It was
But like
so
Gaius said,
scary.
like if you're easily scared or like you
Do
don't
not play
like jump
those
scares,
games. Don't
stay
play
the
those games.
fuck. Like
Yeah,
watch
don't
maybe
play
watch like a walkthrough on YouTube and shit. But like even then,
Mute it,
Or
mute
let's
it.
play,
Like-
yeah.
use speakers, don't use headphones, like that kind of the classic vibes. But
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
scary, man. It's generally just one
Definitely
of
easily-
the best horror games. I love it. I actually
easily
love
makes
it.
my 3x3.
I actually, I'm gonna be honest here. I don't think I could replay it like just casually. You know, you
Nah,
really need to
nah,
be
nah,
like
nah,
psyched
nah,
up
nah.
for it because it's so scary. It's like, oh my god. It's,
I
man.
even tried I remember when I got really like to the scary parts, obviously, I would play during daylight, take off my
Mhm.
headphones and put it on full speaker in like a living room with my mum there.
Yeah.
Even then, bro, I got jump scared. My mum nearly threw a fucking shoe at the screen. She's like, "You're not playing this here." I was like, "Where the fuck do I go? Like, how am I gonna fucking finish this game, mom? For fuck's sake."
You gotta protect me, man. What the fuck? All right, let's talk about
But yeah,
Mario
easy.
Kart.
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, my guy, what? Okay, wait, hang on. Let's start this first. Have you all like? Surely you've all played Mario Kart,
Yeah,
right?
I played on Wii though, not on the the Switch.
So historically, I suck tits with the Wii on Mario Kart. Like I cannot get the hang of it, man. I can't even do like when you when you just before
and shit.
the drifting, number one, number two, just before you go off a ramp, you do like a little bump to get like a little boost, right? Oh my fucking god, I could never do it on the Wii, and I hated this game with a fucking passion. But when it came out on the Switch, man, we played a lot of this during the lockdown last year, and this game was the most addictive piece of shit ever. I put an all-nighter playing it because I was
Yeah,
like,
no,
this is so
definitely.
fucking fun.
I think
um,
it's one of those things though. If you have friends playing it, it is so good. It's just genuinely
Right.
good.
70
So
times
good.
better, right? Yeah.
70 times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
exactly that
Like-
number too. Yeah.
Not more, not less.
Not
But
more, not less. Yeah, don't go and get 71 or 69 bullshit at 70, and that's it. All right, we're capping.
But yeah, this fucking game, like you said, I don't think if I played it solo, I'd last more than an hour
No,
or
no,
two. Like
definitely
you
not.
get bored real quick. But playing with like friends and shit, it is really sick.
I think
And
it's one of the
yeah.
forever like couch games. You know,
Yeah.
like you have
Yeah.
to couch it. Like they did do online with it, but it's not the same, right?
It's not the same. You have to.
No,
play
yeah.
The same. It's,
I
it's a
think
forever.
like
It's shit.
that's
It's
the
like
beauty of
party and stuff, right?
Exactly, that's the beauty of like Nintendo games in general. I was talking about how they're very casual in general, but I would say, hands down, Nintendo games are the best mini games to play with, like in parties and shit. Like
Agreed.
Jackbox, right? It's not Nintendo, I know, but like Nintendo games, like you're talking about any of your Mario Party or your Mario,
Yeah.
Mario Kart or your
Yeah.
Mario Super Smash Bros, whatever.
Yeah.
That esque of games are so good to play with friends because it's just mindless fun. You don't really, there's no skill level to it. Right?
Yeah, that's what I was
Exactly, yeah.
gonna say. The accessibility is amazing. Like you can just give it to
Exactly.
just like your mom, and then everyone knows how to like go forward, right? Go forward
Yeah,
around the
yeah.
track. Anyone can play.
It's really cute though. Like I think even on the Switch, right? If you have a really beginner player that doesn't really play this kind of shit, there's like a little assistance sort of thing, so you can't actually ever fall off the map, which I
Yeah.
think is actually fucking cute, man. So you
Yeah.
feel like you're really good, but actually you're still dog shit. But like you guys said, it's like the accessibility of like you go to a
No,
party.
I think
you
it's
still
something
play with
very,
everyone,
very
it's still really
beautiful about.
fun.
Yeah,
It's very
about
flexible.
A game that's just fun. We have so many games now.
Yeah.
I mean, we literally just molded over 2 games. Me and UT, we just argue like crazy over God of War and Halo, right? But then there's nothing. I can't say anything negative about like Mario Kart. I mean,
Exactly.
how can you? What?
Yeah.
There's no storyline? Of course, man. It's a
It's
party
a
game.
click and
Oh, there's no
click.
graphics? Of course, man. But is it fun as hell? Of course. It's so good.
It's
Like
it's literally
mindless. Good game.
it's actually a game that's been around for fucking decades,
Yeah.
and yet there's still like if you go for like for example Bowser, you're more in weight, so if you knock over a car, they
Yeah.
like fucking fly off
You
the map.
wreck them,
Like, it's all
yeah.
these little, it's like little innuendo, not
Like
innuendo.
there's
little aspects of the
there's definitely
fucking
like a
game.
skill ceiling to it. You still have to learn and stuff,
Yeah.
but it's also so
Yeah,
easy
yeah.
to get into. It's like
Mm.
it's just there's something very, very pure, I guess, or like very beautiful about a game that is just made like, let's just have fun, man. Let's just have fun. You know, none of that like GOTY bullshit. None of that like, let's have like 7 different layers to a story or have this mechanic that's so world changing or anything. It's just, this is the game that we've been playing since forever. We're better graphics. We're better like what do you call them? The things you can pick up. We have better this, we're better that.
The loot,
or the loot items and stuff. That's all. I mean, what's there to hate? What's there to hate about Mario Kart? What's there to hate about like the Nintendo kind of games, mini games? And I think that's something really, really cool that Nintendo has done.
Yeah, it's the fact that it's like you can be a beginner, you can play, like, for example, my girlfriend, she hates games. The only fucking game she's ever played in her life is fucking Sims. Oh, I'm gonna...
Sims, man, wait until she sees you gaming, and they're gonna be a new like thing for her.
There she is.
Like, she hasn't seen you gaming proper yet, bro. Like
when we were playing Mario Kart during lockdown, though, she got really into it as well, and we basically pulled an all-nighter playing it together because it was so fucking addictive.
Oh my god, you're right. But the only game I've ever played with Natasha is Mario Kart as well. You're absolutely right.
See, it's just it's because it's so simple, so effective. It's like you race, you reach the end of the race, you fuck other people up. Like, it's a very simple concept that makes it such a good game.
Well, it's just easy playing. It's just easy playing. There's nothing to it. You don't need to be like a gamer to get into. Some games have like like some games you actually need to be a gamer to get into, right? Like, you need to know the basics of like, I don't know, movement, ASD. You know the basics of like RPG games. You need to have the understanding of how skill trees work, how to read, and how to stack your skill tree, how to whatever, right? Which is very common for like someone like me who's playing a lot of RPGs. It's just, okay, I know what to do. But like, imagine a new player getting into, like, a completely new player to gaming, getting to Witcher 3. Bro, I guarantee you they can't. Like, they just can't.
Bro, literally, you look at the skill tree. You look at alchemy. When I looked at it, I was like, "What the fucking tits is this?"
And the fact that, like, for example, you know, like, even like from the point of, use your potions, use this, use that, stack this, stack that, or dodge this, dodge that. Bro, no one, a new player would not do that. Mario Kart, boom, forward is forward, left is left, right is right. You press square to shoot things at people.
Exactly.
What can go wrong? Well, it's not square, it's like what, XA or AB or whatever.
I actually don't know.
Right bumper.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's very easy to play. There's
easily in a fucking 3x3, 100%.
No, easily. Yeah, I actually agree with that. I put all my games have like a huge skill thing to it, but I actually think you're absolutely right that casual game, sometimes you just got to, bro. You
gotta have a mix, right? Because there's no way Mario Kart has lasted decades being the game it is unless it's that good. Because it's just so simple, so effective.
Okay. So we already talked about Witcher 3.
As
you know, we need to ask any kind of special mentions, T, that you want us to talk about?
Actually, I did have a few that I kept like umming and eyeing about, but BioShock.
Thillak with the big header. You all right, mate.
Thillak has real good taste in games, bro.
What I lack in anime, I make up in games. But BioShock was definitely up there.
Okay, did you like Infinite the most, or did you like 1 and 2 the most?
Oh, so that's the thing. So I couldn't get properly into 1 and 2 purely because of graphics.
Okay,
I'm that bitch, right? But when I heard Infinite was its own storyline, I was like, holy shit, this game is actually off the fucking...
Really,
it's unreal.
I like the BioShock 1. More than
I like
Infinite.
BioShock 1 and 2 because you're gonna hear stuff like Big Daddy and it cracks me up.
It's because Ray's a fucking weeb, man.
No,
he heard Big Daddy.
He's like, call me Daddy.
It's way cooler, bro. You have this guy underwater world. Why would you be in the sky with racist people when you're like that?
What I like about Infinite, actually, I would say 1 and 2 in terms of story and intrigue and pacing is better.
Not 1 and 2. 2 sucked. 1 was good.
The whole Rapture part is good.
Yeah, right? Rapture was good.
Rapture was sick. I will give you that. Rapture itself was sick.
Infinite, I will argue any day, Infinite had one of the best NPC systems of all time. Elizabeth was so good as an NPC, bro. She never was like too fast or too slow. She just kept pace with you. You didn't have to wait. She taught you stuff that was helpful and not just like, look at this tree, you know, like what? It was like literally like, here, boom, here's a healing, whatever, you know? And it was just so good. Like, that is what blew me away about Infinite. Like, the NPC part was like, man, they made one of the best NPC like mechanics.
It was just unexpected. It was unexpected. Is what it was.
And the fact that you can like fly around and swing around with your like grappling was so cool. I loved it. I just loved it. Maybe it's because
what else? I had StarCraft as another special mention. Lol.
Oh,
StarCraft
yeah.
has to be mentioned. If you're talking about Blizzard, StarCraft is just as good as Warcraft.
I know. I think because classic games, right? StarCraft was like the OG where fucking. I actually think StarCraft was the first game that esports really came out of its
Yes.
shell in. Like,
Yes,
like
yes.
Yeah.
the Koreans fucking going with StarCraft.
Oh my God.
Goodness,
They have
man.
like 500 APM and shit.
Bro, the APM, like if you were a StarCraft like professional player in Korea, you were basically a porn star. Like it was just
Yeah,
like all the girls
absolutely,
fucking-
man, absolutely. They were crazy big. Yeah, StarCraft storyline was so good as well. I loved it.
Yeah, man. Actually, even in the
Remember Zero
I
Two?
upgraded-
Holy shit, Zero Two was cool, right?
Yeah. I genuinely upgraded my computer to play StarCraft 2. It was
StarCraft was awesome.
it
There's
was
nothing-
unbelievable.
There's only good things about StarCraft.
It's an
I love
OG.
it. Actually,
It's
I
an
reckon
OG.
like 1 was a lot stronger than 2. I felt like they
agreed.
kind of lost the ball a little, especially the ladder side of it. It was very like rock paper scissors, right? It was like you go Protoss,
Yeah.
okay, I'll go Zerg, I'll go like Terran.
To be fair, the gameplay and everything, it was very like it was meant to die off. That game was never supposed to last that
RTS
long. It was
like we say, RTS is
Yeah.
war meant to die off. Like the rise
Exactly.
of MOBAs and stuff. People don't want to play an hour and do the same strats every time, you know. And that's fair
Yeah.
enough. That's fair enough.
but then
what
I
else?
think obviously I had Apex and CS:GO because I knew you idiots were gonna add that in.
Okay, fair.
Fucking Apex.
And then I actually did one that is unexpected, but it was Titanfall. I don't think
But I think if you
Titanfall. I think
if
if
you
you
No,
like
yeah.
Apex in there, I'm
you
not
like
surprised that you
Titanfall.
have
Yeah,
Titanfall, yeah.
it's like
Titanfall was
similar.
trash. though. The multiplayer was good, but the game was
you
bad.
stop it.
Bro, where's the Titans?
storyline?
Where's the Titans?
Are you fucking taking the piss right now?
Bro, you have to agree that the multiplayer is what made Titanfall good. 1 and 2.
No, you.
What?
Oh,
How did
dude,
you like
I'm-
Titanfall? There was no
Are you
Titans
joking?
falling. There was
The
just like
storyline.
just run and gun, bro.
Oh, I actually am gonna take a shit in your bed. Like Titanfall storyline, it was so short and sweet that I actually couldn't believe I finished it because I wanted more. and more.
Did you
It
say
was-
short and shit? Because you'd be right then.
No, okay, fuck you. It's an honorable mention. I loved it. That's
No,
why
I mean-
Apex came along. So the game that you love is because of Titanfall. So you
No,
can
I would say,
sacrifice.
yeah, Titanfall launched a whole genre of that like movement aspect. So I love Titanfall for
Yeah.
it. I just didn't think like
Yeah.
I always thought people loved the multiplayer more than the single player. I'm actually surprised that you loved the single player that much. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't like, amazing.
I played both, I think. Because
Yeah,
initially I got it for the multiplayer, and then the single player, I was like, yeah, fuck it. And it was
Okay.
actually way better
No,
than
fair
I was
enough, fair
expecting.
Yeah.
But I think Respawn made both Apex, like they came from
Yeah.
Titanfall, and then
Yeah,
they just
yeah.
they
Yeah,
just
yeah,
made
yeah.
fucking guns. isn't it?
Apex
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Titanfall.
It's the
And then
same.
EA
It's the
EA
same
just
universe,
fucking-
even like similar.
Yeah,
Universe.
exactly.
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, that's my honorable mentions. I think I fucking slapped. I think I easily won that. You
Yeah,
guys suck.
yeah.
I think you had the most varied.
You
definitely
had the
put,
most
like,
various.
You
We
had a lot
we
of
have good games in those. You had the
No, I
most.
think like mine was very. I mean, you can tell within mine is like, what is the theme here? Fucking RPGs, without a doubt.
I
you know?
think the
Like-
the one thing I've taken away from yours is that I want to fucking find out what this puzzle pirate shit is about.
Bro, you're gonna get into rabbit hole, man. Don't go in. Don't go in. Trust me. You're gonna start. You're like, this puzzle's so easy. I could get good at this. I could be WoW ranked like Gaius. Next minute, 200 hours in, then 2,000 hours in, and you finally get server ranked, and you're like, what am I doing? I could literally be pro in any game right now. Like, not worth it.
I think
Don't spend your time.
I
with
think it shows what we like, and I think there's a good range, so we can
it actually
for
is.
our
Like,
podcast, we can go cover a lot of stuff comfortably, which is a good thing.
I mean, Raymond's was very varied as well. Raymond's actually caught me
Oh,
off
yeah.
many of them. I was like, holy
think,
shit,
yeah,
I did not look at how
Ray, your one was the most surprising, man. Fucking Battlefield. I was like, who the fuck do you think you are, my dude?
I would say
That
like
was a long
T's
time.
was
the most.
like Thillak, yours was so varied, and it actually surprised me because I actually thought you would go pure comp, right? But of course, you're a gamer.
Yeah,
Of course, you would have all these. Like, how do you not include Sly Cooper in there? Any
Yeah.
gamer would, right? And how do you not include like Mario Kart, Hollow Knight? When you put that in, I was like, "Fuck, this guy's cultured, man. This guy is the
This
man
was.
right now."
I think I went for classics as well as like really good games, and I think that's why it was actually really fun to do this 3x3.
And
Yeah,
Gaius
I
Katana
would
is very good at RPG stuff, and
Mine
the stuff that
was-
RPGs are very
mine
good.
wasn't surprising because
yeah.
I'm so
If you look at it- if you
loud
look
about
at it,
the
you're like,
games I
this
like
guy
and the
is-
games I hate. So you see that and you're like, yeah,
You're like,
I
this
knew this
guy
already
is-
because
this
he's
guy
yelled
is-
about it 50 times about how this is the best game ever. Like literally, Raymond was talking to me the other day, right? And he's like, I remember the time you were like playing Witcher 3 over and over, and you would be like, what should I play now, Ray? And you just play Witcher 3. So I just gave up on telling you what to play. And I was like, yeah, that was me. That was me, 100%. I played Witcher 3 so many times back to back. I think it was like 5-6 times at that point. I was like, what should I play, Ray? And he would be like, oh, what about this? I was like, nah, I'll play Witcher 3 again. And
I
so,
wonder
yeah.
if we end up reposting this on our social media, if we can also attach like our 3x3s
That's a good
along
idea,
with it.
bro. We should put that
That'd
in.
be so that like the viewers can also like
I'll
sort
try
of
and like
see
edit
the
it
review.
into like one screen so that it'll be like Ray, Thillak, Gaius.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be so sick to follow.
I'll cancel some things of Tillak's out because Tilo shouldn't be on there.
Just
but...
blur across it.
I'm kidding.
Just a red line, like
Just like a red line, like no, we agree this is shit. Tilak's like, wait, what? No, I think this 3x3s are cool. I think we should do more like on other things. Maybe if we could
For
do
sure.
gaming again and in a specific genre, or we could do like movies, anime, whatever. Can't really do anime though.
There's a lot
I
you
feel
can
like a
do
lot
with
of us
this.
will be the same. Yeah, 3x3 is cool. I think we should do this more. It'll be fun.
Yeah, I agree.
But on that note, it's what 2.5 hours. I think it's probably
Yeah.
one of our longest podcasts ever.
Holy
This is
shit,
one of
yeah.
our
We're gonna wrap this up, guys. Thank you for listening, and we hope you like the gaming special. We're probably gonna do a lot more of these 3x3s. It's really easy to get
Free-flowing,
points
yeah.
to talk about and all that kind of stuff from it, and obviously a lot to talk about, a lot of controversy, a lot of yelling at each other, which I love.
Yeah.
You
A lot of
have a
discussion
conversation.
points in these ones.
If there's any conversation in our podcast without guys molding at least one, it's probably not a good podcast. I have to get angry about something at some point in time, right?
You need an antagonist on this topic all the
It's
time.
not an antagonist. I just have opinions that don't match the world. But anyway, thank you for listening. Like I said, Raymond, do you want to run us through the socials?
Yeah. So as always, keep following us on the Facebook. So that's facebook.com/Shumimasen on Facebooks. We get our updates. We'll post the pictures of 3x3s over there as well. We got our Twitter, which is /Shumimasen/podcast, Shumimasen pod. So give us a follow on that. We will tweet our controversial opinions and our takes on there as well. So just make sure to go and give us what we deserve. And of course,
Disgusting.
we're on all the popular, all the good podcast sites and on YouTube as well. You can find that on anchor.fm/Shumimasen. That's anchor.fm/Shumimasen. Don't mistype that. And then that will give you a link to every one of our sites. Give us a like, follow, subscribe. To keep updated on our next episode. Next few episodes are going to be quite interesting.
Yes,
we're gonna try a few new things. We've got people lined up, guys. We'll tell you more. But yeah, stay tuned.
Yeah, so actually, thanks for reminding me. The next episode will be a special with a professional dungeon master for D&D, which I think is really cool. It's a world I've never delved into. As a gamer, we owe so much of the RPG kind of thing to D&D. Literally, the dice rolling and all that it's
Oh, that would be sick. Yeah.
It's the mechanic behind most of the RPG games. That's what people don't understand, actually. Behind a lot of the RPG games, right, whether you hit, miss, all that, like let's say Dragon Age, right, it's actually a dice rolling. It's just a virtual dice in the background, and that came from fucking D&D. Your crits that you see in Final Fantasy nowadays, that's the same thing. A 10% crit is the same as rolling a 1 on a 10-sided die or whatever, right? Think about it. So yeah, that launched this whole thing we're talking about. Gaming actually started from D&D. It's the OG role-playing game, and I'm so excited to talk about to our mate about that. He's a professional dungeon master, so that's really cool. Following that, we're all gonna play. We're all gonna play D&D together on a recording, and what else can I say?
Yeah.
So stay tuned. But yeah, thank you for listening, everyone. And with that, we're gonna sign off now. I think that's us. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a lovely day.
All right, see ya. Bye.